Superdome in Houston, Texas. It is the 5-8 Seattle Seahawks trying to stay on the fringe of the playoff picture against the 1-12 Houston Oilers, hoping to avoid a 10-game losing streak. Hello again. I'm Jim Lampley along with Todd Christensen. And Todd, noteworthy today, Dan McGuire of the Seattle Seahawks makes his third start as an NFL quarterback.
And a chance for him to show that it's more than just being the tallest quarterback in the NFL. He wants to be a marketable commodity in these last 3 games. He has the opportunity to show potential suitors throughout the National Football League that he can play. Witness what happened to Scott Mitchell last year with a limited opportunity. He became a rich man as a result.
Meanwhile, most Houston fans see this as the last best chance for new coach Jeff Fisher to win a game before the season expires.
Well, as they say, the honeymoon is just about over with Jeff Fisher. Here is somebody who has to, at least at some point before the end of the season, get a victory so that he can justify his being put in as head coach of the Houston Oilers.
As we get ready to start the game, Seattle sending out kicker John Casey. So the Seahawks will be kicking it away, and the Oilers will begin on offense. Billy Joe Tolliver again gets the start at quarterback today for the Oilers. Bucky Richardson is the backup. The Oilers got miserable quarterbacking last week against Buddy Ryan's Arizona Cardinals. After 154 throws without an interception, Tolliver produced 4 picks against the Cardinals. Todd McNair, number 37, is the deep man. Number 32, Spencer Tillman, is the up back for the Oilers as they await Casey's kickoff. This is McNair. You'll see a lot of action from scrimmage today. One of the new wrinkles in the brand new Houston Oiler offense. Quickly, we look at the Houston offensive line. Veteran Bruce Matthews starting his 115th consecutive game. He'll get a lot of the heavy work against Cortez Kennedy of the Seahawks. Houston backs and receivers. The big addition to the lineup under Jeff Fisher has been Lorenzo White at tailback. Not a great game last week, but he has been carrying the ball in a mistake-free fashion. And when Houston goes back to its 4 wide receivers, former Southern California Trojan Gary Wellman, number 88, is the 4th receiver on the field. Now here's the former Texas Tech Red Raider Tolliver on first down from the 26-yard line. Lorenzo White with the football. Lachey Maston blocking. A rare fumble from White. And the Seahawks are claiming they've got the ball, and referee Gordon McCarter says they do.
Never fails, Jim. As soon as we talk about somebody who's mistake-free, what happens? Lorenzo White cuts back to the middle, as you say, a very rare fumble. And on the first play of the game, he's stripped. The opportunistic Seahawks have the ball. Take a look in the middle. Basic slant play. Cuts back inside. Take a look at who comes in and makes the play. Cortez Kennedy hits him first, but after that it's Rod Stevens who finishes him off, makes the strip, and I believe it was Eugene Robinson with the recovery.
So a little piece of team defense for the Seahawks, and they get the football first down at the 25-yard line. One more look at the replay, and now Dan McGuire tries to capitalize. Looking deep in the end zone for Brian Blades, and it's overthrown. Single coverage on Blades by Darrell Lewis, but he had him.
And shows a lot in terms of the confidence of Dan McGuire. Right away, Tom Flores and Larry Kennan decide that they want to attack right after the turnover. The pump and go move there did not fool either Darrell Lewis and Chris Dishman. That's the man they're going to pick on today. He has been picked on unmercifully over the last couple of weeks. Chris Dishman, of course, a former All-Pro. They want to pick on Lewis, who last year had reconstructive knee surgery, and a lot of people feel like he may have lost a step.
Second down 10, Seahawks from the 25. Running back Chris Warren with the football. Warren in his 3rd consecutive 1,000-yard season at tailback for Seattle. Montgomery and Childress make the tackle for the Oilers. As you look at the Seattle offensive line, Kevin Mawe at right guard must block veteran Ray Childress, the Oilers' star defensive tackle today. Seattle's offensive backs and receivers, and you can see that much of the heavy work will be done by Warren as McGuire makes only his 3rd start at quarterback in the NFL. He's failed to finish the 2 previous starts due to injury. When they go to 3 wide, Michael Bates comes onto the field, former Olympic sprinter. On 3rd down, the fake to Warren. McGuire throws into the hands of Blades. 28th 3rd down catch of the season for Blades, but he's stopped by Darrell Lewis short of the first down.
Shows the inexperience of the quarterback who's not had the opportunity. He knows what the down and distance is. 3rd and 7, throws underneath. Blades had no chance. Give credit to the defense there of the Houston Oilers for forcing a 3-and-kick here, because this was a great opportunity for Seattle to assert itself, but they failed.
John Casey comes onto the field along with the holder, Rick Tootin, who is the regular punter, and Trey Junkin, who is the kick snapper. It's a 40-yard attempt for Casey, who's hit 15 of 17 this year, 26 of his last 29, going back to 93. And make it 16 out of 18 and 27 of 30 for Casey as he puts the Seahawks on top, 3-0. The Seahawks play the rest of the year under the shadow of the automobile accident a week ago last Thursday, which left reserve defensive tackle Mike Fryer in a Bellevue, Washington hospital, at least partially paralyzed for the rest of his life. Before the game, a message to Mike from Cortez Kennedy.
Hello, Mike. I hope you're feeling well, get well soon. And on behalf of the Seahawks, we're supporting you and your family, and our prayers are with you. And get ready for an exciting football game. Take it easy, buddy.
The early excitement for Tez, participating in the fumble play on the first play from scrimmage for the Oilers. Now again, Casey kicks off. McNair brings it back, and he'll be knocked down at the 28-yard line from where Houston will begin its second possession. There's a flag down on the field. You see that the Seahawks players today wear Mike Fryer's number, 92, on the back of their helmets. Holding against Houston.
Holding, number 48 receiving team during the return. 10 yards, first down.
Good look at Jeff Fisher, 36-year-old new head coach of the Oilers. Man who was bumped up to replace Jack Pardee after 9 games this year. Tolliver again to Lorenzo White, and this time White safely wrapping the football between both arms, gets it to the 25-yard line, a gain of about 5. Robert Blackman on the tackle. Seattle's front 7 on defense. The key man, of course, is Cortez Kennedy, but Tom Flory says his best defensive player has been left outside linebacker Terry Wooden, who's second on the team in tackles and leads them in tackles for loss. The Seattle secondary, if you can play cornerback, call Tom Flores. Terry Taylor was retired earlier this fall, brought back, and today starts at the cornerback position. Second down 4. And White is going to have first down yardage across the 30 to about the 31-yard line before Terry Taylor ran him out of bounds.
Houston Oilers are able to get around the corner on the left side. Good job of blocking here by Brad Hopkins. Rufus Porter takes it inside, and that was a big mistake because that enables White to bump to the outside. Good blocking downfield by Haywood Jeffries to afford White some extra yardage in the first down. I would anticipate, Jim, that as a result of the 4 touchdowns that you mentioned with Tolliver, this is what we're going to see a lot of. So we're going to see a lot of handoffs and a lot of pitch outs. And on both sides, frankly, I think that both teams are going to come up with the 8-man fronts and make their respective quarterbacks beat them.
Robert Blackman and Rufus Porter on the stop for the Seahawks, as this time White is limited to little or no gain. Scoreboard says second down 9 from the 35-yard line. Brand new offense for the Oilers under Fisher. The run and shoot has been scrapped, although we will still see 4 wide receivers on 3rd and long situations. Tolliver throws, complete to tight end Pat Carter. And Carter is close to first down yardage before Wooden and Blackman make the stop for Seattle.
Well, Pat Carter out on the flat route. You heard, if you were paying really close attention, an inordinate amount of cheers, and that's because the promise was that this season that they would go a lot to the tight end. Now, he was a good 2 yards out of bounds, but I guess because he's a non-star, they're not going to worry about it. Pat Carter has been anything but an integral part of the Houston offense, as witnessed by those 5 catches.
They're just learning how to throw to the tight end because Carter stepped out of bounds. They are 3 yards short of the first down. 3rd down. Oliver gets away from pressure, and he's going to be brought down short of the first down marker as Eugene Robinson reacted up quickly from free safety to make the stop for the Hawks.
He did indeed, and that's surprising because I wouldn't anticipate that with Billy Joe Tolliver back there, your idea of having a spy wouldn't make any sense. But Robinson came up and make the play short of the first down, and even though the team is 1-12, they're still going to kick it away, 4th and short.
Oilers under 200 yards of total offense in each of the past 2 football games. Rich Camarillo, one of the better punters in the league, comes on for his 83rd boot of the year. Calvin Martin deep for the Seahawks. Good high deep kick. Martin backs up to his 10-yard line. Gets away from the first man and then is belted down as a flag flies in the area of Martin's catch. Steve Jackson, 4th-year cornerback, and reserve linebacker Baron Wortham, who's been a demon on special teams for the Oilers, downfield to cover the 47-yard punt by Camarillo.
One of the worst things you want to do is you don't want to clip right in front of the official who's watching the ball all the way. It just comes right in front of the official. Very easy call.
Tell it to Terrence Warren, number 88.
Illegal block during the return, number 88 receiving team. Half the distance penalty, first down.
One of the reasons they got Rich Camarillo is this reason right here. Pinning him back. There's the block on the back on Bishop. And when we come back, setting up at the 6.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered. By Subway, the place where fresh is the taste. By the all-new Ford Windstar, the future of minivans begins today. And by Beechwood Aged Budweiser. It's always been true. This Bud's for you.
Back live in the Astrodome. After the penalty on the kick return, Seahawks begin from their 6-yard line. Chris Warren belted down by Kenny Davidson, and Blaine Bishop has been a consistent tackler from strong safety, also in on the stop. There's Rick Meyer, left hand in a cast. Goshen, Indiana's own, making the trip down from Seattle to be with his teammates here as they try to make it to 6-8 on the season. Season that began with so much promise. They were 3-0 and playing some of the best football in the league. Warren on the pitch. And breaking tackles, Chris Warren gets to the 15-yard line before Montgomery makes the stop along with Lamar Lathan. A quick look at the defensive personnel for Houston. They lost the 2 defensive ends over the offseason, Sean Jones and William Fuller. Lathan moves from linebacker. Davidson was picked up as a free agent to replace them. Darrell Lewis, as Todd has already told you, is the man most likely to be picked on today as Seattle constructs its passing game against the Houston secondary. And when the Oilers go to the dime, Steve Jackson and Bubba McDowell come onto the field. McDowell nursing a knee injury, former starter at strong safety. On 3rd down and a yard to go for the first down, Glenn Montgomery is there to meet Chris Warren, but Warren, falling forward toward the chain, may have gotten enough for the first down, and he has.
Man, it's pretty impressive when you consider the turmoil and all of the things that occurred to him as a result of the car wreck. Of course, he's still playing with 2 fractured ribs, cuts back to the inside, gets the requisite yardage. Now at 1,177 yards coming into this game, Warren, for the 3rd consecutive season, has gone over the 1,000-yard mark.
One of 25 backs in the history of the league to put together 3 consecutive 1,000-yard rushing seasons. He sets the Seahawks up with a first down and then gets running room outside near the 30-yard line, and boom, down goes the chain holder. Marcus Robertson was there to run Chris Warren out of bounds, and that hurt.
That really isn't that humorous. Take a look at the end of the run. Warren again gets the corner. Good job there by the tight end Carlister Crumpler. Now watch at the end here. The man who's in charge of the chain should just fall down and get out of the way, but he's just not quite quick enough. Takes one to the midsection. I hope he's okay. Remember a couple of years ago, about 20 years ago, Jim, Bubba Smith was somebody who ended up getting hurt as a result of this because the chain man stood there and held it. He ended up being wrapped around the chain, tore up his knee. So this is a situation that on the surface may seem humorous, but really isn't. But I guess he can play with pain. Yeah, okay.
Looks at his watch, immediately looks at his watch, thinking to himself, let me see. It's about 3 hours before this game is over, so I should be at the emergency room by, 6:30 local time. Until then, I'm just going to hang in. 9-yard gain by Warren on first down. It's 2nd and a yard. McGuire with the obligatory play fake on 2nd and short, and then has the pass batted into the air by Ray Childers.
You know, that's actually a good word that you just used there. It is obligatory. For whatever reason, I'm sure a lot of it has to do with not having enough repetition. Take a look at this. This is token at best. This doesn't fool anybody at all. Look at the ball's already back before Warren even goes past. If they're going to be effective in the play-action game, Meyer has to give a better fake than that.
You mean McGuire?
McGuire, excuse me.
3rd down and a short yard for the first down. Keep it on the ground with Warren, and Warren once again moves the chains for the Seattle Seahawks. It is by now abundantly clear, incidentally, that it was Lamar Smith, the reserve running back, who is inactive today, and not Chris Warren, who drove the car in which Mike Fryer suffered the injuries which may leave him a quadriplegic for life.
Well, even though segues are for kids, it's Chris Warren that drives this offense clearly and will for the remainder of the season. McGuire is not the quarterback who's going to come in and throw 30-40 times a game for the Seahawks to be successful. Warren is arguably the best kept secret in the National Football League.
Max Strong replaces Warren at tailback, and getting the football is Steve Smith, the reserve fullback picked up from the Raiders. Blaine Bishop makes the stop, but significant yardage for Smith.
Steve Smith, a part of that breed of the underappreciated, and that position is known as fullback. All they do is protect the quarterback, be the lead blocker for the man who gets his 1,000 yards and does all the dirty work in terms of short passes when they need 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 3. Of course, Steve Smith blocked for a pair of pretty decent backs when he was with the Raiders, fellows by the name of Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson. Now he blocks for another competent back in Chris Warren.
We got a long 6 on first down. It's 2nd and a short 4. Chris Warren back on the field, looks for his position, and Dan McGuire says we better call time out here and get organized. One of the tiny glitches which can emerge when your quarterback is getting his 3rd NFL start in his 4th year. We'll be back.
Introducing Ford.
We bring you back live to the Astrodome. 6:26 to go in the first quarter. Seattle Seahawks got a 40-yard field goal from John Casey on their first possession and lead 3-0. Dan McGuire
Great
goes
play
down.
by McGuire. I tell you what, that's a great play by McGuire. That's the ball that should have been fumbled in the backfield. They took the timeout to set up the reverse to Bates. And I guess here's one of the advantages of being 6'8". Take a look in the backfield as he's going to get hammered before he can actually get the ball off. That's a handoff, but he just flips it up, and Bates makes a good athletic play, as does McGuire. This could have been a real problem for the Seahawks, and you could even argue the point right there, Jim, that he was down by Montgomery in the backfield.
His knee appeared to be down, but he did get the football into Bates' hands. Risky play. Not sure Tom Flores would want him to do it every time, but that time it paid off. And a first down for the Seahawks at their own 43. This drive began at the 6. Warren across the 45. Al Smith, most consistent tackler for the Houston defense, makes the stop from his middle linebacker position. 117 tackles for Al Smith. He leads the Oilers, and if you're looking for one Pro Bowl player from Houston, Jeff Fisher says this is the guy.
Well, I think not simply the number of tackles, the 2.5 sacks and everything that he does, but he calls all the defenses. And in this particular defensive situation, the famous 46 defense, that's a difficult task. Requires a lot of the mind and body of the middle backer.
2nd down 6. Warren slides through a hole in the middle and has a gain of 5, maybe 6. Montgomery and Robertson making the stop for Houston, and Warren is close to another first down for Seattle.
Well, the pride of Little Ferrum University in Virginia is somebody who has really put together some serious numbers. There you see the documentation over the last 3 seasons. And I think that because of being in Seattle, who does not get a lot of national coverage, people really don't realize how good he is. I offered I proffered the question to Jeff Fisher saying, is this guy this good, or is it a situation to where he is the main guy in the offense, hence he gets all the carries? He said, no, this is a legitimate Pro Bowl runner. This is somebody that can do a lot of different things. He likened him, Jim, I thought very interesting, to a larger Marcus Allen. Similar feet, but instead he's at 230 instead of at 212. And I likened him, of course, to Dwayne Thomas.
A more talkative Dwayne Thomas?
Yeah, a non-Sphinx-like Dwayne Thomas.
Evidently.
Much more loquacious, yes.
Third down and a short yard now for the Seahawks. You saw the measurement. Warren alone in the tailback position. So no lead blocker for Warren now if he gets the call on third and a short yard. Appears to have the first down, but it'll be close.
Great penetration by Ray Childress, but he just couldn't hold on to the ankle of Chris Warren. Ray Childress, number 79 for the Houston Oilers, former Pro Bowler, somebody who has really struggled this season, not having his great defensive ends, Fuller and Jones, on the other side of him. Take a look at the middle of the line. Watch number 79 get the penetration just to the left of your screen, and Warren juke just a little bit. Watch 79. He's going to fall down right there, just can't quite get to him, and as a result, Warren has the first down.
Davidson and Bishop ultimately get credit for the stop. Warren gets just enough for the first down. Seahawks sustain the drive in Houston territory at the 47. And Dan McGuire goes down. First time today, Michael Barron and Lamar Lathan folding, spindling, and mutilating the 6'8" quarterback.
Well, Lamar Lathan is somebody who you could consider maybe the best athlete on this team. Watch the top of your screen. Tight end goes down. There's Lathan right there along with, and that is truly the half sack. Take a look here on the side. You're gonna see both guys come in. 57 goes in completely untouched. He actually bought into the play fake before he could get back, and as a result, Lathan and Barrow will split that sack.
9-yard loss, second down, 19 for the Seahawks. And now the Oilers have Seattle where they want them in a near must-throw situation. And now they have them in a must-throw situation as Bishop and Lewis make the stop, holding Warren to no gain, perhaps a loss of a yard.
Well, these are situations, obviously, that Seattle cannot get into. And when we asked Jeff Fisher yesterday, hey, you've got the young quarterback. Here's a situation. You're going to come up with the 8-man front, so you're going to blitz him, try and confuse him, and go after him. And he said, oh, yeah. I mean, there was no pretense to it at all. And he admitted to the fact that the inexperience of McGuire is something he feels like the defense can take advantage of.
Call it third down, 18. They must get the football to the 37-yard line of the Oilers for a first down. This time, McGuire has time, but the coverage downfield is sufficient to make him hold the ball. Montgomery makes the tackle as McGuire falls across the line of scrimmage, and now Seattle will bring on the punting unit after this drive fizzles.
Well, one of the difficult things for McGuire, of course, is going to be reading defenses. The play before, they come with a 7-man blitz. This time they only come with 4 guys, cover with 7. People are covered all over the field. Give credit, of course, to the Houston defense here. Blades downfield, trying to find a seam in the zone, but it's just not there. You can see that the Houston Oilers are very conscious of Brian Blades. 3 different Columbia blue shirts around him.
Rick Tootin boots it away for Seattle. Ernest Gibbons will let it drop, and it goes into the end zone. So it'll be a touchback. The Oilers will have the football at the 20-yard line for their third possession when we come back. Seattle leads 3-0 with 1:45 to go in the first quarter in the Astrodome. Houston attempting to avoid its first 10-game losing streak in a decade. It happened back in 1984. Jeff Fisher took over a 1-9 team and hopes that they do not finish the season as the 5th team in league history to go 1 win through the entire season. 5th team since the merger, I should say. Tolliver on first down. Fires complete to Ernest Gibbons. Terry Wooden makes the stop for the Seahawks. Givens just a little bit short of first down yardage.
Something you don't see very often for the Houston Oilers, a first quarter catch by Ernest Givens. Ernest Givens has really been the forgotten man in this offense with the result of musical quarterbacks and the numerous injuries. All-time leading receiver for the Houston Oilers. But his projections this year don't look too good. In fact, right now he is only around 30 catches for the season.
I marked him short of first down yardage. Officials disagreed. They give him credit for 10. So it's first down at the 30. Lorenzo White is wrapped up for no gain. Number 98. Sam Adams, rookie out of Texas A&M, is there, and they're the numbers on Givens, Todd.
Well, very impressive. You can see there 63 and 927 throughout his career. That's his average. But this year on projections alone, he's going to be short of 40 catches and 600 yards. That's very unlike Ernest Givens, who has been one of the really stellar performers in the National Football League over the past decade.
All-time leading receiver in the history of the Houston Oilers franchise. Second down and a long 10. Draw play to White. Hole opens momentarily, but then it's closed up by number 97, Rufus Porter, who waits for help and gets it, and it'll be third down for the Oilers. First quarter drawing to a close here. 4 yards on the carry. It will be third down 6 for the Oilers when the second quarter begins. Opening series fumble, a rare one out of the hands of White, set up a Seattle field goal, and that did it. We're back in the 8th wonder of the world, Todd.
Isn't that amazing? Judge Roy Hoffine some 30 years ago came up with the idea. Originally, didn't they try grass here, but it just wouldn't grow?
They did indeed. Third down 6. Oilers trying to sustain the drive. Billy Joe Tolliver. Down the middle, intended for Webster Slaughter. Eugene Robinson says, Webster, let me pick you up now that I've belted you to the AstroTurf. And Tolliver gets no such help. Michael Sinclair was the man who was in to temporarily waste Billy Joe Tolliver.
Well, if you're a fan of the blitz, you're going to see a lot of that today. Tolliver goes down, and at the end of the play, take a look at Webster Slaughter and see how bad he really wants this ball. He knows he's in the middle. I'm going to stick out one arm, and maybe not. Then he gets hammered by Eugene Robinson. If he extends himself fully, he comes back with some broken ribs. But at this point in the season, he's not inclined to give himself up, Jim.
Camarillo's first punt was a 47-yard rainbow. Kelvin Martin is going to take this one on the fly and get it back about 5 yards. 41-yard punt for Camarillo, 5-yard return. Tonight, don't miss the holiday comedy classic National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, starring Chevy Chase, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and Randy Quaid. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation tonight at 9, 8 Central, right here on NBC. If you're a member, as I am, of the Randy Quaid cult.
Yes. Oh, and don't forget.
I'm not going to say it's a must. It's a should.
It is. Yeah. It's fun. And don't forget, somebody who's getting the short shrift here, Beverly D'Angelo plays his wife, and she's not prominent here in the promotions.
She's quirky.
Integrate her into the mix of the pseudo stars in this particular classic.
A very quirky persona. First down 10. McGuire looking deep. Excellent throw. Gutty catch by Blades. Seattle football into Houston territory at the 42. Local crowd thought it shouldn't have been a catch. Marcus Robertson and Darrell Lewis there on the coverage for the Oilers.
Well, here we are talking about the inexperience of the 6'8" McGuire, and what does he do? He throws the ball right on the money. This is a fade route, simply an up, and of course Blades, that's not his strong suit. Lewis can't believe he's going on the up. Look at the throw right there. He gets hit. Does he lose the ball? No. The ground caused the fumble. Good call by the official. There's the catch. 1-2. He has the ball. Ball comes out later when they're out of bounds. He had possession. 29-yard gain, spoken like a pass receiver, Todd. Look how deep Chris Warren is in the I formation. And look how he capitalizes by getting an early look at the hole and bursting through for a gain of about 8. Marcus Robertson on the stop.
along with Michael Barrow.
Well, he's on pace for about 160 or 170 yards the way things are going. And don't forget, this has been a real problem for the Houston Oilers in terms of 100-yard rushers. The reason for the depth, Jim, is so his vision can allow him to pick the hole. The hole in this case is about 2 slots away from where it was intended, but Warren, with his vision and quickness, is able to find it.
And with his height, he fooled me into believing he had gained only 8 when it's actually, as you see, 10. And another first down for the Seahawks. He's about 9 yards deep back there, Todd.
Well, again, it varies from tailback to tailback as to how they want to do that. But if that's his comfort zone, then that's fine. Basically, it's between 6 and 7 yards in most I formations. But if he has the quickness to get away with it, then so be it.
Line of scrimmage is between the 32 and the 33, and there's Warren back at the 41. So he is definitely 8.5 yards behind the ball. And this time it gives the Oilers time to react and wrap him up as Michael Barrow and Glenn Montgomery stop Warren for no gain.
Well, it shouldn't be a surprise, even though they know they're going to go to Warren, that they have been able to stop him. In the 13 games they've had thus far this season, 6 of them have resulted in 100-yard rushers. In another game against the Dallas Cowboys, Emmitt Smith had 90. So the Houston Oilers, who in the past have been notorious with their ability to stop runners coming in, this year that has been a major problem, as witnessed by that particular graphic.
Second down, 11. Warren again. And he makes up for the loss on the preceding play and gets into the end zone. If he didn't step out of bounds, they're going to mark him out of bounds back at about the 5 or 6 yard line.
No, they're not.
Nope.
No, they're not.
Another tough moment of officiating along that sideline for the Oilers.
Well, originally John Schlayer, the head linesman, take a look at the 6 yard line. Originally he was about to set him out of bounds, then he ran down and said, did you see his foot step out? And no one said that they did. Right there at the 6, he steps. No, it's a good call by the official. He never did go out of bounds. Watch the foot. Right there, Michael Barrow hits it. The foot goes over the out of bounds, but it never touches
what about the
line.
hand? What about the
hand? The hand grazes the line. Hey, you know what? If this were a situation of a game of some magnitude, maybe that would be an issue. But in this case, I don't think so. Give him credit for the effort. The hand touched it simultaneously. Hey, it's a touchdown.
8th rushing touchdown of the season for Chris Warren. John Casey on to try to add the extra point. Watch the hand, Todd.
Yep, definitely. The fingertips are over the line. Should be the 1 yard line.
So the ball should be marked at the 1?
Well, actually, I saw holding on the play. It should have come back, but they missed that, so no big deal.
You're getting into the realm of the absurd now, Todd. Early second quarter, a 33-yard touchdown run. Brilliant effort by Chris Warren of the Seahawks. And Casey had the extra point to stretch the Seattle lead now to 10-0 over Houston with 12:34 to go before halftime. Jim Lampley along with Todd Christensen live from the Astrodome. You look at Chris Warren, running back of the Seattle Seahawks, who now has 13 carries for 78 yards with still 12:34 to go before halftime, and has just scored on a 33-yard touchdown run down the left sideline to stretch the Seahawks lead to 10-0. John Casey kicks it away. Todd McNair with the football at about his 6-yard line.
Look closely at the foot here as we slow this down. When Michael Barrow goes for it, the left foot is actually going to be a little bit out of bounds, but does it touch? That's the art right there. Does that touch? Now when the foot comes up again, clearly you're going to see the right hand is going to go out of bounds at the 1 yard line right here. But again, you got to give Warren an A for effort, and so do the officials. Touchdown.
Oiler fans must be thinking, surely we should have gotten the benefit of the doubt on either the foot or the hand, one or the other.
Yeah, it's our house.
But the officials didn't love you blue at that moment. First down 10. Oliver pitches to Lorenzo White, and Antonio Edwards, reacting aggressively from his defensive end position, makes the stop. Number 67 for the Hawks.
Unless they can reestablish the running game, this pretends to be a long day for Billy Joe Tolliver. Second down, you see Seattle now goes with their dime package. This is their opportunity to start blitzing people and taking some chances.
whistle dead. Tolliver in the grasp of number 96, Cortez Kennedy, and number 69 or 99, Michael McCrary.
False start before the snap.
Was there a collision?
84.
Well, in that case, that's the reason.
Still second down.
It made no sense there, Jim, for the play to be blown dead. That meant it had to be something offensive, and Webster Slaughter is the man who was offsides, or in motion rather, and that's what the official saw. Most of the fans, of course, wonder why it was not on the Seahawks, but then again, the play should have never been blown dead. If it wasn't
Webster
offensive.
having an unhappy second half
Not
of the
his best
season.
season, no.
So make it second down 17 now with the football at the 15-yard line. And Tolliver gives to White. And he'll get back the 7 and a couple of more. Gain of about 9. It'll be third down 8 after the straight-ahead power of Lorenzo White, stopped by Eugene Robinson.
Well, Lorenzo White is a very versatile back. Run, block, and catch the ball. Tough when he gets ahead of steam going, as Eugene Robinson found out. Lorenzo White going right over the top of it.
Veteran Terry Taylor, 10th year out of Southern Illinois, also there to help with the tackle. They give him credit for 9. It is third down 8 with the football at the 24-yard line. Hard count by Tolliver. Seahawks jump again. The catch by Ernest Givens, working against Robinson, is for first down yardage. And now the Oilers may have a chance to decline the penalty and take the 17-yard gain for a first down.
Well, I'll give Tolliver credit. 2 times now during that series, his hard count drew off the Seattle Seahawks. Of course, the first time was negated. This time he'll get away with it, got the free play. They'll take Givens' catch there at the 41-yard line.
One of the happier moments for Jeff Fisher as head coach of the Oilers. He says the emphasis today is to play the fourth quarter. This is a team which has lost a half dozen games by the margin of a field goal.
Well, and that certainly reveals the idea that these people are not mentally prepared, and a lot of that has to do, Jim, with the fact that they have a new offense integrated as a result of his being brought in a coach in midseason.
Football at the 42-yard line after the completion from Tolliver to Givens. Lorenzo White will try the left side again. A lot of Seahawk jerseys there, but White is able to carve out a gain of a couple before being run out of bounds by Terry Taylor.
Surprised that we haven't seen any of Gary Brown yet, Jim.
You are?
Yeah, I am, simply because of the fact that Jeff Fisher mentioned to us yesterday that the reason that he was taken out was because he was not in great shape, that he was playing at about 238. They preferred him about 225, 226. His weight is now down, and don't forget, I mean, it was just a year ago, the man had over 1,000 yards and basically 8.5 games as a starter.
He was a huge key to the 11-game win streak that propelled them to division championship and into the playoffs last year. He was benched by Jeff Fisher shortly after Fisher became head coach. On second down 8, Tolliver wants timeout and a chance to go talk to Jeff Fisher and Dick Curry as they continue to try to move with this new offense in Houston.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered. By the Citizen Watch Company. Citizen is how the world tells time. By Wendy's. After 25 years, quality is still our recipe. And by the all-new Chevy Blazer. Motor Trend's Truck of the Year. Test drive it at your local Chevy dealer.
We're in Houston's Astrodome, where the Seattle Seahawks have a 40-yard field goal by John Casey and a 33-yard touchdown run from Chris Warren. Oilers now try to keep the drive alive. 2nd and 8. Pass is to Ernest Givens, and Givens fights off a couple tackles and gets close to the chain as he goes out of bounds.
Well, what Billy Joe Tolliver saw was Terry Taylor didn't know where he was on the field. They went with a 3 wide receiver situation. Taylor, the new cornerback, is supposed to be over Givens. Take a look. Take a look as they shift. Taylor doesn't come to the other side. Taylor is over here. Now watch at the last minute. He's going to come running over here. Tolliver sees it and says, forget it. I'm just going to go with this. Game in 1985 that I played in, Jim, we had a similar situation. Dan Fouts saw that we had the wrong people on the field. Just snapped the ball, threw it to Lionel James for a touchdown. So give Tolliver credit for being heads up.
Third down 4. They need to get the football into Seahawk territory to pick up the first down. Under pressure, Tolliver throws it away down the middle. Cortez Kennedy won't get any stat for that, but he was the one who pressured Tolliver into getting rid of the football.
Give Sam Adams credit for being there and reading the play. Cortez Kennedy gets single coverage with Flannery, and of course that's part of the problem. You just cannot single up the big man. Adams is in there in a spy situation to prevent the screen, but Cortez Kennedy showing right there why you cannot single up that big man.
So on fourth down, Camarillo will again come on to punt it away for Houston. 2 punts so far, as you see, 44.5-yard average. Kelvin Martin, excellent punt returner for the Seahawks. This time has only about 4 yards as he stopped at the 20. It'll be Seattle football when we come back. As you look at the top of the Astrodome, Jim Lampley and Todd Christensen back live with you. Seattle Seahawks leading the Houston Oilers 10-0. And Todd, let's tackle the difficult and painful subject of the effect of the automobile accident on the Seahawks. Maybe they put too much pressure on themselves last week to try to win a game for Mike Fryer. Maybe it would be easier to do that on the road under these circumstances.
Well, certainly I think they tried very hard last week and maybe trying too hard. They had a lot of mistakes, and of course they ended up losing their quarterback as a result. But I think that here's a situation where certainly they're a lot calmer and they're playing very effectively. Look at the numbers that Chris Warren has already put up.
Warren on his way to a potential huge day. There's the 14th carry for 80 yards now as he gains a couple before Al Smith whacks him to the AstroTurf for Houston. Gain of 1, so make it 14 carries for 79 yards. Quiet style for running back Chris Warren, but in all likelihood it will quietly take him to the Pro Bowl one more time. All Green, tight end in motion. McGuire gets away from one man and throws in and out of the hands of Brian Blades. Chris Dishman on the coverage for the Oilers.
Good matchup here, Chris Dishman and Brian Blades, a couple of Pro Bowlers. Dishman in man coverage a little bit outside the bump. Take a look at as he reads the quarterback, now cuts inside. That's a veteran play right there. That's a veteran that knows how to take advantage of the inexperience. He knows that at this point Dan McGuire is not going to have the ability to look off the free safety. He's going to be focused in on who he has to throw out. Dishman took advantage of that.
Seahawks are 3 of 5 on third down as they get ready for 3rd and 9. Must get the football to the 29 for a first down. McGuire wants to go deep. And an excellent one-hand catch. Was he inbounds? Indeed he was.
Steve Smith.
Yep.
Steve Smith, the fullback we mentioned earlier, back in 1988, he had 8 touchdown catches. He is an excellent receiver coming out of the backfield. You see he's on the swing route, which is another term for the out and up. McGuire points him up. Take a look, he comes up with a one-handed catch. Soft one, right hand, right, left foot, right foot. Nice catch by Smith. He was in bounds. Take a look slowly as he bobbles it. Does he have possession? Where's possession? There, 1, 2. Nice job by Smith.
Smith beating linebacker Eddie Robinson down the sideline. Robinson, a fleet-footed linebacker, but Smith got him by a step. Warren again. Kenny Davidson makes the stop.
And one of the things we should mention here, Jim, beside Chris Warren, is let's not forget the offensive line of the Seattle Seahawks averaging about 312 pounds per man. They have certainly asserted themselves here in the early going. They have been dominant over the Houston defensive line.
Giving McGuire the chance to make a couple of big plays. Recently, the 19-yarder to Steve Smith. There was a looping 28-yard gain to Blades a little bit earlier. Now on second down. The second sack of McGuire, this one by Ray Childress. Just a great individual play by Childress.
Childress right here in the middle is going to beat Kevin Mawai, the rookie, just with a quick swim move right past him, and Mawai is standing there wondering why the center didn't pick him up. Mawai had him man for man, and Childress just blew past him.
10th year out of Texas A&M. He was bothered by a stiff back in practice this week. Missed practice Thursday, but the kind of guy you can count on come Sunday. So it's 3rd down 11 with the football at the 38-yard line. This time with time, McGuire throws high and in and out of the hands of Dishman. Nope, he's got it.
He's taking a bow, but they're saying no. One of them said no, and one of them said catch.
Yeah, I think they're going to take a moment to make up their minds here.
It looked like the 1 foot was behind.
Now they're going to call it incomplete.
In his attempt to get the other foot down, he was styling a little bit. Look at Dishman. Dishman goes, no, come here. I got to rap to you, man. I got to rap to you. Here's the deal. Take a look at his feet at the end. The ball is overthrown. Now watch at the end. He's going to get the 1 foot down. He's going to style a little bit. Left foot, right foot is on the line. Good job by the official. If Dishman would have just fallen down, take a look right here. Take a look at, if he just, the left foot's down, now watch the right foot. It strides all the way back. See, that's the problem there if you're a defensive back. You're not used to doing the tippy-tap that the receiver is. By extending his right foot, he negates his own interception.
Tootin's second punt of the day. Ernest Gibbons backpedaling to his 9-yard line. Gibbons had a chance to go outside, opted to cut back inside instead. Gets about a 6-yard return. It'll be Houston football when we return.
Today.
As we bring it back to the Astrodome, Chris Dishman has been shaking his head ever since we left. Shake it again, Chris. Yep, there you go.
Now what's that on his head, Jim?
Just a little lateral movement. That's a do-rag.
A do-rag?
Yeah, you thought it was a bandana, didn't you?
I was curious. I guess.
Come to my gym,
no,
and the guys will explain to you. It is a do-rag, okay?
I guess you make more trips to the hood than I do.
I live in a hood. First down, 15-yard line. Billy Joe Tolliver, pump fake, dish off. Number 47 is Lachey Maston. Mostly a blocking back. Second year out of Baylor. Rufus Porter made the stop for the Seattle Seahawks. And it's first down yardage for the Oilers on the effectively executed dump off next Saturday at 1:30 Eastern Time. Join NBC Sports for the World Team Gymnastics Championships. Dominique Dawes leads a strong American team in the first major international team gymnastics competition since the '92 Summer Olympics. That's the World Team Gymnastics Championships next Saturday at 1:30 Eastern here on NBC. First down for the Oilers at the 25-yard line after the 10-yard gain. Tolliver to Maston. Haywood Jeffries, the intended receiver. Jeffries without a catch in the first half, and Tolliver's pass too tall, and in comes the somewhat disgruntled Webster Slaughter to try to reach further toward the incentives in his contract.
Well, that's part of the problem when you have incentives. It a lot of times forces you to be selfish. I mean, Jim, if you've got the opportunity to make $750,000 by playing a couple extra plays, what are you going to do? No, for the team, I'm going to sit on the bench. I think not. You know, that's one of those deals where you've got to take care of that. You've got to rectify that situation before the season starts.
If you have belief in yourself and pride in your performance, you automatically think the team is better when you're on the field. That's the way Webster feels. Second down 10. Tolliver looking deep for Webster Slaughter. And it is in and out of the hands of number 25, Robert Blackman, the strong safety out of Baylor.
There's a situation where he should have run with it. He breaks free and steps forward. Now look at the yardage that he has in the middle of the field. Instead, he tries to force the ball downfield into double coverage, and that's one of the reasons why last week he had 4 interceptions. That ball should have been caught by Blackman.
It'll be third down 10.
There's another unheralded player for the Seattle Seahawks, been making some very good plays this year. He just plays the position. Doesn't have a lot of interceptions, doesn't have a lot of big plays, but he's rarely out of position.
Maybe the least publicized good pair of safeties in the NFL. Tolliver rolling away from pressure, and he's going to go out of bounds at about the line of scrimmage, so it will be fourth down. Bob Spitulski was the man who ran him out for the Seahawks, and the crowd boos as now the Oilers continue a first-half streak, which shows that none of 5 possessions have taken them past midfield into Seahawk territory.
Well, Jim, you saw there the reason why the Houston Oilers are the most sacked team in the National Football League. Tolliver takes 5 steps back, and before he has even 2.5 seconds to set up, he's already rolling out. There's just no way he's going to get the ball downfield with that kind of protection.
Camarillo to kick it away again. 4th punt of the game for Camarillo. Off the side of his foot. And fair caught. Flag down now, so we await the official deliberation. Gordon McCarter says it's going to be holding against Les Oilers. So as they get ready to mark that one off, we remind you Wednesday at 9, 8 Central, be sure to catch Bob Hope's Christmas show Bob will be joined by the 1994 Associated Press All-America football team, Tony Bennett, Lindsey Wagner, and the 1995 Rose Queen. Plus, see the greatest moments from his all-time Christmas shows. Remember, Bob Hope's Christmas show, Hopes for the Holidays, Wednesday at 9, 8 Central on NBC.
Holding number 48 on the kicking team. Holding number 21 on the receiving team during the kick. That penalty will be enforced from the spot where possession changed. It will be first down, receivers.
Now I have a question for you with regards to the Heisman yesterday. Were you surprised at Rashaan Salaam?
No, because you told me that Rashaan Salaam would win the trophy. The minute he went over 2,000 yards rushing for the season, you told me that he would win the trophy.
But you told me that Collins was your favorite. Now, ironically, Collins ended up getting the Maxwell Award for the best player in college
but finished
football.
fourth in the Heisman voting.
How do you account for that?
Well, I account for that by stating that the Maxwell Award is given by a small committee in Philadelphia, and the Heisman Trophy is determined by a widespread national vote with literally hundreds of electors spread around the country.
So you're saying that Kerry Collins was fortunate as
somewhat
a result of
parochial
his
choice.
locale?
Yeah, a parochial choice.
Okay.
I can tell you that 15 years ago, the people who gave the Maxwell Award used to call me when I was hosting the college football telecast at another network to ask who was a likely choice other than the person who was about to win the Heisman Trophy. And was he a good person, and would he deserve the award, et
So
cetera,
in other words, so they could stand out and have somebody different.
Precisamente, that's Spanish for precisely. On first down, Seattle gives to Tracy Johnson, and the sixth-year running back out of Clemson is stopped by Marcus Robertson, but after a double-figure gain, that picks up another first down for the Seahawks, who have been moving it relentlessly on the ground.
Well, one of the problems here is that for defensively for Jeff Fisher that he has noted is that their defensive line is not very big. The biggest of the group is Glenn Montgomery at about 290, which sounds strange to say, but Lamar Lathan is an undersized defensive end. Childress an undersized defensive tackle. Part of the problem today as to why they're not stopping the run.
After the 14-yard gain by Johnson, Johnson gets the football again. Chris Warren getting a little rest here. And Marcus Robertson and Al Smith, the middle of the defense for Houston, make the stop, but Tracy Johnson, who has lost a shoe.
And now it's interesting because I noticed Chris Warren hustled back onto the field. He sees these big gaping holes, and he sees the fullback who clearly is a couple of steps slower than he is. He says, hey, wait, I'm padding my stats, Jack. I'm back in the lineup.
Warren with a good chance to go over the century mark before halftime. And already the Seattle Seahawks are over the century mark with now 118 yards on the ground. Second down, 6. Football at the 36. Chris Warren says, get me some of that room. Breaks a tackle, has the first down. Blaine Bishop and Marcus Robertson with a stop. 9-yard gain for Warren.
One thing interesting here with regards to Warren, notice as he runs, I mentioned Dwayne Thomas. Notice how people shake off of him. Very rarely does the first man make the stop. I'm not talking about big power, how he lowers his shoulder, but watch, Montgomery there, now somebody else has a hold of him. He keeps going. You know, Robertson hangs on for dear life, but very rarely will you see the first guy knock him down. And he is one of the few tall running backs in the National Football League that's effective, Jim. Most of the great runners in the league now are under 6 feet tall.
Warren again. He'll go over the 100-yard mark with that one as he breaks it into Houston territory at about the 43. Dishman and Robertson making the stop for the Oilers, but plenty of time left before halftime as the clock reaches 3 minutes and counting, and a chance for the Seahawks to really put the Oilers in the hole at intermission if they could go up 13 or 17-0.
And you look at the look on the face of Jeff Fisher. He's not a happy man. He knew very well coming into this game that this was the game plan. He knew he had the inexperienced quarterback. He knew they were going to get Warren the ball. I'm sure that he's got to be frustrated over the fact that Warren, as you mentioned, already over 100 yards with 2.5 minutes remaining in the half.
Almost loses yardage, but manages to slip outside for maybe gain of 1. Eddie Robinson, outside linebacker, is the man who ran him out for the Oilers.
You know, another thing when you watch Chris Warren run, Jim, is that the 40-yard time is overrated. My understanding is that Chris Warren is about 4.55, which certainly isn't slow. But people get consumed with that because if you notice next time we come up to the line of scrimmage, notice that from the free safety to the tailback, the distance is somewhere between 17 to 20 yards. So many times people get possessed with, oh my gosh, he doesn't run 4.4, he can't make it in the league. That's absolute baloney. Chris Warren is proving that despite the fact that he's not a flyer, he is a great runner.
600-yard gain for Chris Warren. And now he goes for another gain of about 6 before Michael Barrow makes the stop, and that occasions the 2-minute warning. We'll be back. The vital numbers from the Astrodome, where the Seattle Seahawks are striving to get to 6-8 and remain at least on the fringes of the playoff picture. Seahawks, one of 25 teams that came into this NFL weekend still with a chance to go to the Super Bowl in Miami. And now it's 3rd down 4. Football at the Houston 38. Chris Warren in the lone setback position. Gets outside and gets close to the 1st down marker, but he's going to be well short. He's about 1.5 yards short as Marcus Robertson and Kenny Davidson make the stop for the Oilers.
Interesting decision here, Jim, because we're in that no man's land. Are you going to give it a shot at a long field goal? Certainly they have the guy with the leg in Casey and no elements. But it appears here they have enough confidence in the running game. They're going to give it a shot on 4th.
Warren comes off the field. Tracy Johnson goes onto the field. Now Bates comes off as the Seahawks are in a short yardage package, but without Chris Warren on the field as they get ready to go for the 1st down on 4th and a long one.
Well, McGuire came up to the line of scrimmage and he had 4 seconds left.
So another timeout for Seattle, and we'll be back. We remind you, coming up at halftime, the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report. Greg Gumbel, Mike Ditka, Joe Gibbs updating you on scores and highlights. Plenty of key games being played today. Also, the continuation of Bob Costas's interview with Ken Norton Jr. of the 49ers. Norton today talks about the strained relationship with his father, Ken Norton Sr., former heavyweight contender, all coming up at halftime in the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report. 4th down for the Seahawks. McGuire throws in the flat to Tracy Johnson. Tracy Johnson making his 3rd big play of the now sustained drive for Seattle. Eddie Robinson ran him out of bounds, but they'll move the chain as they convert the 1st down.
Play serves a lot of purposes here. Not only do they get the 1st down, but McGuire now has a little more confidence. Puts the ball right on the hands of Johnson for the 1st down at the 30. Now the Seahawks are in position to not only get the last score, but to take some time off the clock. Nice call by that man, Larry Kennan, offensive coordinator for the Seahawks.
This time the man with the football is Max Strong, reserve running back out of Georgia, met by Michael Barrow and Al Smith. To what degree, Todd, as there's an injured player on the field, Ray Roberts, starting offensive tackle for the Seahawks, to what degree would you call this Seahawk offense a derivative of the offense you used to play for the Raiders?
It's nothing like it. We did not have those big offensive linemen. We didn't average over 312 pounds a man, and we threw the ball a lot more than the Seattle Seahawks do. And of course, the back that we had was a different kind of back. We threw to him a lot more. We did a few more things in terms of the passing game. But again, you know, it's different personnel. Certainly today with Dan McGuire, they're going to be much more conservative. Dan McGuire, very effective thus far in the half, but of course hasn't had to do a whole lot.
Next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern Time on NBC Sports, it's a special afternoon of NFL action, Todd. It may be daytime, but it's prime time on NFL Live. You won't want to miss Bob Costas' interview with the 49ers flamboyant all-pro cornerback Deion Sanders. And then Deion, Steve Young, Jerry Rice, the 49ers, playing host to Elway, Sharp, and the Denver Broncos in a game crucial to the Broncos' playoff hopes. Of course, the Broncos hoping that Elway can be back in action for that game. That's Denver against San Francisco next Saturday. NFL Live kicking things off at the special time of 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
I'm interested in that interview for a lot of reasons. And of course, in the second half, you and I will peruse the various and sundry possibilities within the playoffs. But getting back to that particular interview,
yes,
you know, Bob Costas was very critical of Andre Agassi. You remember when he had that commercial regarding image is everything. Certainly Deion Sanders is somebody who's extremely image conscious, and I'll be interested if Bob Costas chooses to attack that.
So you want to see if Bob is consistent, or is he evolving into a new point of view?
Well, that's exactly what I'd like to see.
With regard to the showy personas often flaunted by today's star athletes.
That's exactly right.
Shall we take a look and see if we can figure out what happened to Ray Roberts, number 73?
Here's 73 right here. Somebody lands. Look at the face. Look at the facial expression right there. You can see it. Ouch. Someone lands on the back of his leg. That's a very common injury for offensive linemen when backs and everybody else come up behind them.
This is a former #1 draft choice out of Virginia who was brought in to solidify the left tackle situation for the Seahawks. He had a horrid rookie year in 1992, but has progressed as a player, maintained his confidence somehow in the wake of having been raked over the coals by a lot of media types, myself included, and has become a pretty doggone good left tackle in the NFL.
Well, as you pointed out earlier, Jim, every week he's got to go against a stud. It's not like some week he's going to get a break. You know, every week, one week it's Leslie O'Neal, another week it's Derek Thomas, then it's Anthony Smith, on and on and on and on. Bruce Smith. I mean, he has to deal with the best pass rushers in the National Football League. And of course, if you're going to be thrown in there the rookie, you're going to get toasted. But as you mentioned, the effectiveness of the running game and the fact that he has some experience, he has turned himself into a quality NFL performer.
Unfortunately, he looks as though he is likely to become a new addition to the Seahawks' lengthy injury roll for 1994. Tom Flores saying in our meeting yesterday that the optimism of the early season for the Hawks was eventually decimated by injuries.
Well, you and I had that game up in Seattle. Excuse me. I was broadcasting the game, I believe, with Don Crickey up in Seattle when they just absolutely spanked the Pittsburgh Steelers 3-1 at that point. And a lot of people said, you know, this is a team that's coming. This is a team that could be AFC West champions. But after that, they went to Indianapolis, lost a game that they should have won. That started the 6-game losing streak. And as you mentioned here with regards to Roberts, if the Seahawks didn't have bad luck, they'd have no luck at all. It's just amazing the number of injuries that have occurred to this ball club.
Meyer, virtually every cornerback with which they began the season, a couple of offensive linemen. Of course, we know about the automobile accident that cost them Lamar Smith and Mike Fryer, and now here goes Ray Roberts.
Then on top of that, you had a lot of people coming back from off-season surgeries that have not been as effective. Michael Sinclair has not been the pass rusher he once was, nor has Rufus Porter.
There's a look at Meyer as he watches on the sideline. Last year's Offensive Rookie of the Year, and as you said, Todd, franchise quarterback for the Seahawks. Roberts will be replaced at left tackle by number 78, Mike Keim, a third-year player out of Brigham Young University.
We'll get a report on Roberts as soon as we can.
Can we send Hannah Storm in there? Nah. Not here today. So it is 2nd down, 8 yards to go with the football at the 28-yard line. Just Blades in motion. Meyer with a wide open receiver, couldn't get the football there. In fact, he was throwing underneath, apparently intended for the tight end, as Lathan and Davidson converged on him.
Actually, he was lucky that he got hit there, because had he stood in and thrown it where it should have been, Barrow would have intercepted it. Watch him get bumped at the last minute. Now watch, the ball is behind Barrow. Barrow is in perfect coverage on Green, and if he could have thrown it where it should have been, Barrow would have picked it off.
And Blades, after having gone in motion, was lonely on the sideline, but McGuire apparently never found him. 3rd down, 8. Go to Warren on the running play on 3rd and 8, and Warren will get a few to add to his numbers. Eddie Robinson and Lamar Lathan making the stop, and the Seahawk helmet winds up on the AstroTurf.
Well, again, you know, that's indicative of the inexperienced quarterback. There's no way they want to take any chances now that they're in scoring position to have the man throw the ball away. Larry Kennan saw that last pass that could have been intercepted. He says, hey, let's go to our big man Warren. If he doesn't get the first down, fine. Casey will kick the field goal. We'll force Houston to score 2 touchdowns. And at this point, the way the offense is going for Houston, that is a tall order.
So Casey will come onto the field. He is 16 of 18 this year. He's hit 27 of his last 30 going back to 1993. This will be 1 yard short of his longest successful conversion of the season, that 45 yards. And we remind you again, coming up at halftime, the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report. Greg Gumbel, Mike Ditka, and Joe Gibbs updating you on the scores and highlights. Plenty of key games being played today. That's an understatement. And we'll have the continuation of Bob Costas' interview with Ken Norton Jr. of the 49ers. It began yesterday during that Cleveland Browns Dallas Cowboys drama. Today, Norton talks about the apparently strained relationship with his father, Ken Norton Sr., former heavyweight boxing contender. It's all coming up at halftime on the NFL Live, or the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report. Casey, 44-yard try, his longest of the season is 45. And this one's wide. Flag down as the fourth-year veteran out of Georgia laments the hooked field goal attempt.
Looks like the flag is going to go against Houston, and of course,
Story of their season.
It looked to me that what they might have in the middle of the field is they might have pulled somebody, and they might be calling defensive holding.
Well, it was 4th and 6.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, illegal leverage for leaping on players and trying to block the kick. Number 90 of the defense. The penalty will be half the distance, automatic first down.
You know, this is something everybody leaps and everybody tries to do this. I'm really surprised that they're going to call this. But of course, if you got to call it, you might as well call it on the dog that's already been beaten up, the Houston Oilers.
What a year. Kenny Davidson draws the flag for...
Now watch here. What is common is that you'll grab the offensive man, pull him aside, and try and get the guy in. Now they push him forward, and he jumps. I'm sorry, I don't see it. That's just ticky-tack. Yeah, come on. Just play the game. Take a look here in the middle. You see anything illegal, you see him pushing, and the guy comes and runs and jumps up, and of course, that was Davidson on the leap.
And the crowd responds now much in the same way that Jeff Fisher did at the time when Gordon McCarter announced the call. And it keeps the drive alive as the Seahawks get to try for a TD. Wire throwing. Lamar Lathan batted it down.
Lamar Lathan has certainly been a bright spot for the Houston Oilers. If you count the last one, that's now 8.5 sacks that he has on this season. Be interesting to see what happens with him in the offseason in terms of how they want him to be football-wise. Are they going to want him to put on, say, 15 pounds and be a little bit more like a defensive end, or is he going to go back to 250 and possibly play outside backer again? It'll be interesting to see.
Noise from McGuire to contend with. The ball's knocked loose. Oilers signaling that it's their football. Officials will try to sort them out.
Flag is down 2. Certainly a little justice to that, isn't there, Jim?
Precious little, but keeps the Oilers in the game for the moment. See what the flag connotes or denotes.
Holding, number 48 offense, penalty declined, first down.
Carlister Crumpler tight end, and they're certainly going to let that one go. You saw it there, just the left of your screen. It was a takedown. Watch here. That's Ray Childress. Great job by Childress as he grabs the arm of McGuire. Glenn Montgomery with the recovery.
Good play by Childress, who had a sack earlier. This time knocks the football loose from McGuire. See what Tolliver wants to do to finish out the half. Throws it into the hands of Ernest Givens, and Givens breaks back toward the middle of the field, has a gain of about 5 yards. It will be second down. Raphael Robinson makes the stop for the Seahawks. Seahawks in the dime defense. And, of course, they'll give a little room underneath. Slaughter's first catch of the half. And Slaughter moves it far enough for a first down before Robinson makes the stop with 21 seconds left before halftime.
Webster Slaughter thanking Lorenzo White for a downfield block after the catch. Interesting, if you notice, number 84, he has bare hands. He's one of the few skill position people in the National Football League who do not wear the Tackify gloves. There you see it right there. No wristbands, no nothing. He's kind of a no-frills guy.
Would you wear gloves if you were playing today?
Well, Steve Largent and I were two of the guys that, you know, the advent of the gloves came in really into vogue around the mid-'80s. And I wasn't a fan of them just because of that 1/4 of an inch. It took it away from the leather. But of course, now the tackle fight gloves are much more effective. But Slaughter said the same thing to me when I asked him about that. I asked about the gloves. I said, why, what's the deal? And that's what he said. He said he likes the feel of the leather on his bare hands. He said the gloves get in the way that little bit.
Steve Largent so gracious in visiting the game yesterday, at which Art Monk broke his record for consecutive games with a pass caught. Which brings us to another subject I'll touch on in a moment. On first down, Tolliver throws down the middle, incomplete. Webster Slaughter again, the intended receiver, and Tony Brown covering for the Seahawks. And Todd, are you preparing a congratulatory telegram for fellow tight end fraternity member Ben Coates on the expectation that he's going to break your record for most catches in a season by a tight end?
Yeah, somehow I don't see that because you and I will be elsewhere in the last game of the season. I don't anticipate I'll be flying to where New England is playing and shaking his hand and handing him a football. But
what mean last game? He could break it next week or the following week.
That's a good good point. That's a good point. He's had a tremendous season. As has New England, now 8-6.
Second down 10. Webster Slaughter with the catch. Out of bounds to stop the clock with 12 precious seconds. Tony Brown on the coverage.
So of course the crowd is booing because this sort of non-vertical game, 5- and 6-yard passes, isn't going to get the job done. Notice too that just as I made the big deal about Slaughter with the bare hands, all three starting wide receivers, Givens, Slaughter, and Givens, are now going with the bare hands. And in the past, I know that both Givens and Jeffries, rather, had worn the gloves.
Loveless. And now Tolliver will take a knee, and the Oilers will allow the half to run out, and the crowd expresses itself. So Jeff Fisher, Dick Curry and company will go to halftime and try to figure out what to do against Seattle's 10-0 lead. Chris Warren already over 100 yards. We'll be back with the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report after this.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza. When it's gotta be good and it's gotta be now, it's gotta be Domino's.
Next Saturday, we have a pretty good matchup for you from Candlestick Park between the 49ers and the Denver Broncos. Yesterday, Bob Costas talked football with the 49ers' Ken Norton Jr. Today, they talk about Ken Norton Sr., the former heavyweight champion of the world, a man who once defeated Muhammad Ali. Sr. was a single parent, and he and Jr. were especially close until the last few years when a dispute arose surrounding Ken Jr.'s marriage. Although neither elaborates publicly, Norton Sr. has said his advice concerning a prenuptial agreement offended his son. Perhaps it's something other than that. In any case, the two have been estranged during the time Ken Norton Jr. won 2 Super Bowl rings.
A couple of years ago, when the Cowboys won the first of the 2 straight Super Bowls, in the locker room after the game, I asked you about your relationship with your dad, and I was under the misimpression that you wanted to talk about it then, and I was wrong, and I felt bad about it.
In light of this great personal triumph, will you call him?
I'm just talking about the Super Bowl right now. It's a great feeling for me right now. I'm feeling very good, and I'm going to get this ball to our defensive coach right now.
Now some time has gone by. It's up to you how much you want to talk about it. Where does that stand?
Not much has changed since that time we spoke 2 years ago. We've spoke a few times on the phone, but I think time is only going to heal, and I think we're both kind of stubborn, and we both understand what is going on, and in time we'll come to our senses and understand that life's too short, really, to let this go on too much longer.
Your parents divorced when you were about a year old. Your dad raised you himself, and from what I've read, he was very protective. Not only didn't he not want you to be a boxer, he didn't even want you to be around what he did.
He didn't want me to be around it. He didn't want me to be around the gym. No spit buckets, no hitting the bags, no going to any of the fights. I never attended any of his fights in person. It's just recently I've been able to watch him on tape and things like that. So he was very adamant about not letting me be a part of that fight game.
By the time he finished fighting, you had to be, what, 12, 13 years old, right, somewhere in there, so very well aware. And if you weren't allowed to come to the fights or watch them, did you worry about him? Did you sit home and worry?
I think there was a few times that as I began to get older, I began to get more curious about what was going on. What is Dad really doing? And I think a few times, I remember one fight that I kind of snuck in to watch. It was he fought Ernie Shavers. While nobody's looking, and I see him, all of a sudden, boom, he gets knocked down. I'm like, man, that's my father in there get knocked around. And I ran outside and was pretty upset, and I kind of realized at that point why he pretty much wanted to keep me away from it. You know, as a young kid, you don't want to. Your father's your Superman. You don't really want to go in there and see him getting beat up on, and he didn't want me to see it. And from that point on, I didn't sneak around to watch any more fights after that.
Several years ago, he had a near-fatal car accident. Left him for a long while with a lot of difficulty getting around and whatnot. And you virtually took care of him, right?
I did. That was a very tough time, going through college and things like that. And like I said, your father growing up, raising you, being that strong person for you all the time, being there whenever you needed him. All of a sudden now, he wasn't strong. He was very weak, sitting in the hospital, not knowing if he was going to make it. And all of a sudden, I had to step up and be strong and take care of him. We got a lot closer. That time was very special for us, and I was able to push him around in a wheelchair, and a few times I had to give him showers and things like that. And it was a time that it was very unfortunate that it had to happen to us both, but at the same time, it brought us a lot closer.
You missed sharing a couple of great moments in your life
right,
together.
That's the problem. That's one of the problems. There's only, you know, life's so short, and there's only so many moments that you have, and the last couple of years have been, you know, so exciting and so key, and I'm just hoping that, you know, we'll straighten this out sooner than later, so while I'm in my prime, I can, you know, he raised me to be what I am. Hopefully that someday that, you know, we can enjoy this together.
We will see the All-Pro linebacker and the 49ers next Saturday against the Denver Broncos. NFL Live at 3:30 Eastern Time will include Bob Costas' conversation with Deion Sanders. And our NFL Live halftime activities continue.
To you by Domino's Pizza. When it's gotta be good and it's gotta be now, it's gotta be Domino's.
Welcome back, everyone. Greg Gumbel joined now by Mike Ditka and Joe Gibbs. And let's run down scores and highlights for you, beginning with the big game at the LA Coliseum. At halftime, the Raiders are leading the Denver Broncos by a score of 6-3. The question was, can Hugh Millen do the job? So far, 6 of 13 for 71 yards. That's average, but he hasn't given the ball away, and they're in the game.
Well, I think the big improvement in this football team right now, in the Denver football team, that is their defense. The first time they played the Raiders, they got humbled. They gave up 40-some points. They're playing very good, and they're pressuring Hostetler, doing all the things they got to do. If they had Hellway in there, they might be able to win the game. But, you know, anybody can win this game because it's just a defensive struggle.
In their Monday night win over the Chargers, Joe, the Raiders were penalized 17 times for 146 yards. They've been hit with the penalties hard again today. It's part of the game plan.
It's Raider football. Let's see if they can overcome this. The other thing is a tough time protecting the quarterback for the Raiders. They've been playing extremely well on defense, so it's a defensive battle.
All right, Joe. Mike in San Diego. Speaking of the Chargers trailed the 49ers at halftime 21-3. Steve Young has thrown 2 touchdown passes for San Francisco in that game. The Houston Oilers trying to snap their 9-game losing streak. The game that you're watching at halftime, the Seahawks lead it by a 10-0 count. And in Tempe, Arizona, the Washington Redskins looking to snap a 5-game losing streak, but they are trailing the Cardinals at halftime 7-6. Let's get you now to the early scores today, beginning with the game in Foxborough between the Patriots and the Colts. New England beginning the day with a 4-game winning streak. Bill Parcells saw his club extend the winning streak to 5. Drew Bledsoe, 277 yards throwing and 2 touchdowns, including this 6-yarder to Ben Coates. That made it 14-10 Patriots. They went on to win it 28-13. In Buffalo, Chris Carter, 9 receptions, leaves him 1 shy of Sterling Sharp's NFL record for his season. Terry Allen rushed for 90 yards. He gave the Vikings an 18-17 fourth-quarter lead with that TD. A devastating blow for the Buffalo Bills. On their final possession, Jim Kelly, hit on the left knee by Henry Thomas, carted off the field with a sprained ligament. His status not known for the rest of the year, but the Vikings win it 21-17. In Green Bay, Dave Wanstedt's Chicago Bears fell out of first place in the NFC Central. Brett Favre, 3 touchdown passes, 2 of them to Sterling Sharp, a 40-3 rout for the Pack. They are unbeaten at Lambeau for the first time since 1962. In Pittsburgh, the Steelers hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. The Steelers played without Barry Foster, and they lost Bam Morris to injury in the 3rd quarter. Pittsburgh scored twice in a 2-minute span in the 4th. Neil O'Donnell to Andre Hastings for 18 yards. Randall Cunningham passed for only 59 in the Steelers' 14-3 win. at the Meadowlands. The Giants hosting the Bengals under 2 minutes to play. Rodney Hampton takes it from the 3, snapping a 20-20 tie. His second score of the day. The Giants win their 4th in a row. They beat the Bengals 27-20. And the Rams visiting Tampa Bay. Sam Weish, head coach of the Bucs, suddenly has them playing winning football. Craig Erickson, a pair of touchdowns to Charles Wilson. This one good for 71 yards. Wilson had 4 catches for 176 yards on the day. The Bucs have won 3 in a row for the first time since 1982. Today's final, 24-14. 2 other notes for you. Buffalo quarterback Jim Kelly will undergo an MRI in Buffalo tomorrow to determine the damage to his left knee. And the Cleveland Browns, by virtue of that Buffalo loss, become another participant in postseason play. It makes them a postseason contender. They win at least a wild card in the AFC. We'll send you back to the Kingdome for the second half right after this message from the NFL.
Where the 5-8 Seattle Seahawks have a 10-0 lead over the 1-12 Houston Oilers. Jim Lampley again, along with Todd Christensen. And if you were among the National Legion of Chris Warren fans, then the first half was just great, including this 33-yard controversial touchdown run, Todd.
Well, the only controversy about it here is his hand at the 1-yard line, but the way he has been running, clearly he probably would have got into the end zone anyway. Take a look right at the end. You see the right hand go out right at the one, but hey, big deal. The man has rushed for over 100 yards. He's run roughshod over the Houston Oilers defense. He has been the show thus far.
And we take a look at the Coors Light halftime stats.
Of course, the 2 big numbers that stand out there, of course, are the rush yards and the time of possession. You're looking at almost four times as many rushing yards for the Seattle Seahawks and nearly twice as much in terms of time of possession. The Oiler offense, rather, has been anemic at best.
Al Del Greco prepares to kick the football off for the Oilers. They kick it away from Michael Bates. So it's number 88, Terrence Warren, who gets hold of it for the Seahawks and brings it back to about the 30-yard line. Do you think Jeff Fisher feels pressure to win today, hoping to avoid finishing this brief period as introductory coach of the Oilers with an 0-6 record?
Well, I think he feels the pressure not so much from the fact that he can go, hey, guys, now we're 2-12, but simply from the ideas to prove as a head coach that he can win in the National Football League. Everybody is a brilliant head coach when they're assistant, when they are a coordinator. Everybody can talk in terms of theory, but when you're actually there in practice, it's a different story.
On first down, the Seahawks operating from just beyond their 30-yard line. Dan McGuire making his 3rd start as a National Football League quarterback, gives it off to Chris Warren. Warren is stopped by Blaine Bishop. Warren well over 100 yards rushing in the first half. Here are the quarterback numbers.
Which is surprising in this day and age of now potentially you're going to have a half dozen guys in the National League throw for over 4,000 yards. You're going to have nearly 20 receivers in the National Football League over 1,000 yards. And you can see those numbers both combined barely over 100 yards. This is definitely not a quarterback fest.
4 on first down by Warren. He's got the football again on second down, and the Oilers are starting to catch on. This time Warren is hammered after a short gain by Al Smith. Yes, at that present rate, Todd, McGuire and Tolliver could play 40 games without going over 4,000 yards. But alas, part of it is because Warren has been so effective on the ground. You see the numbers there.
Well, we reinforce, too, the point that it's the offensive line that has really been dominant at this point. Blackshear, of course, earlier. Roberts now out with an injury. Mike Kime, Ray Donaldson, Kevin Mawai. These people are doing an outstanding job.
On 3rd and short, Warren again. First down yardage and more as he gets it near the 45-yard line. Marcus Robertson with the stop, but the numbers continue to pile up.
Well, Jim, evidently Houston didn't get it. You mentioned on second down the possibility that maybe they're starting to figure it out. Take a look at the numbers of Chris Warren, along with the other compatriots who rushed for 1,000 yards in 92 and 93. Of course, Thurman Thomas played earlier in the day, as did Rodney Hampton. But he is very competitive. Those are some pretty impressive names that his name is associated with, Jim.
After the last hard Warren run, it's first down near the 44-yard line. Blades in motion. Half-hearted play fake by McGuire, but a good throw Caught by Paul Green, the tight end. Blaine Bishop, strong safety with the coverage and the tackle.
Well, Paul Green, the tight end from USC, is replacing the injured Farrell Edmonds, two-time Pro Bowler out of Maryland. The former Trojan runs the out route here. Just a simple out route. He actually turns Bishop around. You can see to the right of your screen, comes back to the ball, does a good job of putting himself between Bishop and the football. Paul Green, a better pass catcher than Farrell Edmonds, but not the blocker.
Career high 7 catches last weekend against the Colts. 23 catches on the year coming in. And Green now with a chance to show his stuff as Edmonds battles a bad back down the stretch. There's another first down from McGuire and the Seahawks. Now Warren has plenty of running room, looking to get to the end zone. Bishop is the last man with a chance, and Blaine Bishop runs him out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
Brian Blades does an outstanding job downfield of putting a block and enabling him to get those extra yards on that 27-yard jaunt, Jim. Watch to the right of your screen, number 89. Good job of blocking back there by Blackshear. Breaks the tackle of Robertson. Now watch to the right of your screen. Look at the battle that Blades does. Puts Lewis on the ground. And from the other side of the field is where Bishop finally has to come to make the play. Look at Blades all over Darrell Lewis. Lewis would have never made that play. And if not for Bishop's hustle across the field, Warren has another touchdown.
Chris Warren gets a rest. Max Strong comes onto the field to spell him for this play. Strong gets the ball and the touchdown. Big moment for the reserve running back out of Georgia. After the 27-yard gain, they gave Warren a one-play rest, and Max Strong took advantage with the touchdown run.
Well, Max Strong's notoriety came from the winning touchdown against the Tampa Bay Bucks, but look at the power. Max Strong is right. The name is certainly apt on that run as he runs over 2 members of the Houston Oilers secondary, and this is something that certainly has to be disheartening for the Oilers. Never mind the record, never mind the fact that they're getting beat, Jim. They're getting completely out physical.
And Jeff Fisher had hoped to throw the kitchen sink at inexperienced quarterback Dan McGuire today. PAT is blocked by Ray Childress. But Fisher's defensive plans have been foiled by the Seattle running game. And here's another look at the third big play of the day by number 79, Ray Childress, right in the middle of the line. You see him get the left hand on it. It's 20-0 or 16-0.
They say there's nothing like the taste of...
Have we been on camera 3 times already, Bill? Well, let's go for 6.
I agree.
By Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered. By Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. We are driving excitement. By Compaq. Look for the new Presario computers for that small business you call home. And by Domino's Pizza. Call now and order new buffalo wings and we'll deliver them with your pizza. It's gotta be Domino's.
Back live in the Astrodome, early third quarter. Seahawks have a Casey field goal, a Warren touchdown run in the first half, and now Max Strong's TD. And Todd McNair brings back Casey's kickoff across the 30 to the 31-yard line, so the Oilers will begin possession there as they try to do in this half what they were unable to do in the first half, threaten to score. Tonight begins with an all-new Earth 2, followed by an all-new Sequest. Then stick around for the holiday comedy classic National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, starring Chevy Chase, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and Randy Quaid. It's a great night tonight, starting at 7, 6 Central, right here on NBC. It's a great night, but not so far for the Oilers. Billy Joe Tolliver and company beginning just inside their 31. This is number 85, tight end Pat Carter, second catch of the day. And this one for good yardage across the 45 to the 46.
This is what happens when you don't catch too many balls. People completely forget about you. Pat Carter lines up on the left. They have the play action movement to the right. He goes out in the flat, and there's absolutely no Seattle Seahawks there at all. Carter with his 7th catch of the season.
First down for the Oilers. First possession of the second half, and for the first time today, the Oilers pierced the invisible shield at the 50-yard line. Lorenzo White across midfield into, dare I say it, Seahawk territory.
Still a lot of time left. 10.5 minutes in counting in the third quarter, so they certainly don't have to abandon the running game, even though they're down 17. White with a nice 8-yard gain.
Second down, a short 3, a long 2. After White's first down run, Givens in motion. Tolliver throws to Givens, and good yardage again.
Flag is down.
Rod Stevens on the tackle, and yes, the penalty flag.
Sees motion to Tolliver, defensive offsides, and they will refuse it.
Offside. Number 44 defense lined up in a neutral zone. Penalty declined. First down.
Tom Flores hoping that his team won't blow here in the third quarter. The momentum they established in the first half and reinforced with their opening drive of the second half, all the way to a touchdown by Max Strong.
I'm a big fan of that guy right there. 5'9", 172, continuing to go over the middle for balls.
White. Gang tackling by the Seahawks. Number 99, Michael McCrary, the lead tackler. Pickup of about 3. Call it a gain of 4. It's second down 6 from the 32.
Dick Corey, offensive coordinator for the Houston Oilers, is the man who really is on the hot seat here with this new offense. Be interesting to see what he does here now that they're close to scoring.
Tolliver throwing, almost picked off. The quick slant intended for Ernest Givens, and Tony Brown with good coverage there.
That was excellent coverage by Tony Brown. Inevitably, when you go with a slant route, this is an opportunity for interference, but Brown times it perfectly going after the ball. Look on the rebound, almost comes up with the interception. Outstanding coverage by Brown on Givens.
Third-year player out of Fresno State, was back in 1992 the number 5 draft pick of the Houston Oilers. Seahawks picked him up in preseason this year.
Well, again, that just goes to show the point that you made earlier regarding that they're taking cornerbacks from all over.
Anywhere they can get it. Flags down as Tolliver throws in and out of the hands of number 84, Webster Slaughter. Eugene Robinson with the hit.
Flags down again.
Offside call, apparently.
Number 70 defense, 5 yards, repeat third down.
Michael Sinclair jumps off, you can see there, just in front of David Williams, and that affords the Oilers another shot at 3rd and 3.
Incidentally, the Seahawks were able to drive the ball to open the third quarter despite the absence of starting left tackle Ray Roberts. And the information we got at halftime, not good for the Seahawks. Roberts with a broken and dislocated ankle.
My mistake, 3rd and 1 here, Jim. Interesting point with regards to that missed extra point now, if Houston can get in and score.
White trying to make a brilliant play for the first down. He stretches toward the marker, and I think he'll be a half-yard short.
Well, it's 4-down territory anyway, but I don't understand that. Why not go with the straight-ahead play? Everybody knows that White's going to get the ball. Why go with the sweep that goes to the outside and give the defensive line, a chance for penetration? Now the Houston Oilers are going to go with their 3 tight end set. My guess is look for something between the tackles.
And as the Seahawks call timeout, the Oilers bring onto the field as an extra blocker Barron Wortham, a reserve linebacker. So they'll be in short yardage when we come back.
A young girl is murdered.
I killed her.
Why did her son confess to the crime?
I don't know what they said, but somehow they made him believe something that is not true.
Now, a mother vows to prove his innocence.
I'm going to fight you every inch of the way on this.
You are making a big mistake.
Picket Fence's Lee Taylor Young, Murder or Memory, NBC Monday.
The With the Seahawks leading 16-0 and 8:40 to go in the third quarter, Houston lines up to try for a first down on 4th and a yard.
I don't think he got
impact. No, I don't think so either. That was a terrific play by the middle of the Seattle defense. Terry Wooden there.
Jeff Fisher not very pleased with that. Once again, the point that we made about being more physical. Clearly, Seattle is. Doesn't even look like they're going to bother with a measurement. Take a look at who cuts in and makes the play. Rufus Porter is the one that comes in and takes his legs, and then head-to-head, it's Wooden who meets Lorenzo White and stops him short. And there he starts to wander up and say, where's the mark? But hey, forget it. He didn't get it.
So the Oilers, after their most successful offensive series of the day, ultimately fizzle just inside the Seattle 30. And Dan McGuire and company will start with the football at the 27. Chris Warren. A little too much hesitation as he arrived at the line that time. Blaine Bishop and Michael Barrow making the stop.
Chris Warren with a smile on his face doesn't seem to be too bothered by it. He looked back and said, hey, I got 150. I'm not worried. So I lost a couple. Big deal.
He's had 2 runs of over 30 yards today. Not exactly a breakaway back with that size, but very elusive. 2nd down 11. And Warren makes up for lost yardage. Al Smith and Lamar Latham making the stop. After a gain of about 8, it'll be 3rd down, relatively short yardage for the Hawks.
He may not be a breakaway back, but he is a break your back in terms of the Houston Oilers defense. It's just unbelievable how the offensive line of Seattle is just moving the blue shirts off the line of scrimmage, enabling Warren to pile up the big numbers.
27 for 169 for the finest NFL product ever from Ferrum University. That's F-E-R-R-U-M. 3rd down, a long 2, a short 3. 1st down yardage. And Warren getting close to his career high, previous career high, 175 yards in a game. Marcus Robertson makes the stop here, and I believe that carries Chris Warren beyond 175 to 183. There you go.
And then they must have known it because they get him to go off the field. We can get a shot of him.
He takes his helmet off.
Slaps hands with some of his teammates. Now, I don't have the club record in front of me, but I'm anticipating it's something that Kurt Warner did a number of years ago. And with the time remaining, 6:25 and running, he might have a shot at it.
Next stop, 200 yards. Here, with Warren on the sideline, it is Max Strong. It was Max Strong. Gain of about 5. It'll be 2nd down 5.
One thing about Warren's performance, you have to think, Jim, that this is a little bit therapeutic for him after all the travails that he has had over the last week.
Tough week defending himself.
This has to feel especially good.
As we mentioned, it's by now clear to everyone that Lamar Smith was driving the car and not Chris Warren at the time of the accident, which has left Mike Fryer in such lamentable shape. Tracy Johnson with the football, and Johnson plows close to the 1st down. Ray Childress and Blaine Bishop make the stop. I think it's going to be 3rd and short for the Seahawks.
Club
team record? What's that? Go ahead.
No, you're
no,
saying,
you tell me.
No, you.
No, you tell me. Would it have been Kurt Warner 207 yards against the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Good.
I think it is.
I'm glad. Our information is in sync. And this time the Oilers run all the way and gang up 9 men at the line of scrimmage and stop Tracy Johnson well short of a 1st down. Tim Roberts, number 68, 3rd-year rookie out, or 3rd-year player, I should say, out of Southern Mississippi, making the stop.
Well, basically, Houston comes with everybody. Look at all the blue shirts that are going to be coming and trying to fill gaps, and it so happens that Roberts is the one that fills the gap that Strong decides to pick. Loss of 2, forcing Seattle to punt.
Yeah, not Tracy Johnson. Max Strong with the football.
And they're not in a hurry here, Jim. They might as well let the thing run down and possibly let the clock run out completely, take the penalty, just take some more time off the clock.
Third punt of the day for Rick Tootin, who leads the NFL in net punting.
Now, here's something that is quasi-interesting, and that is that in chatting with Sean Landetta one time about this theory of punting inside the 20, a lot of times you'll see the defensive team here will refuse the penalty and make them kick from 42.
The penalty yardage is declined. It is still 4th down.
Now let me follow that thought that he was saying that whenever defenses do that, the whole idea is that, oh goodness, he doesn't have enough field to work with. But his theory on that was the same as shooting a free throw versus a 20-footer. A lot easier to make a free throw than it is to hit the 20-footer. So as opposed to, he'd much rather kick from the 40 than from the 50 because he felt like he could angle it out much easier.
Tootin arrived here today with 30 punts, having been downed or gone out of bounds inside the 20. Second in the league behind Mark Royals. And there's number 31.
Great kick. Great kick.
Well, this guy's just a fabulous punter, Todd. Fabulous.
As sure as the sun.
The Seattle Seahawks lead the Houston Oilers 16-0, 3:53 to go in the third quarter. The game has been a showcase for Seattle's Chris Warren. The Seahawks tailback with close to 200 yards rushing, threatening the team record of 207 set by Kurt Warner against the Chiefs a few years back. On first down for the Oilers inside their 10, Lorenzo White has the football and a very short gain before he's met by Terry Wooden.
Well, days like this would make you less than enthusiastic, but you couldn't tell that by what Jeff Fisher said here. Only one place to go, and he says, we're definitely moving in the right direction. Every day I wake up and high-five myself on the way to work, and I'm not going to change that. Well, first of all, it'd be interesting to see how you do high-five yourself, and second of all, give that man credit for resilience, because if ever there is a time when I would not want to high-five, it's got to be now, as much as the Houston Oilers are struggling.
Second down, Tolliver down the middle to Webster Slaughter, and Slaughter crossed the 25 to the 27-yard line. Will have another Oiler first down. Tony Brown makes the stop for Seattle.
Webster Slaughter, the receiver on the Houston Oilers, who is acknowledged as having the best hands. Tolliver looking left, finding Slaughter across the middle on the crossing route, gets by Rod Stevens and picks up some extra yardage, showing a little toughness there, taking some shots in the middle of the field.
Where's Haywood Jeffries?
Yeah, for somebody who three consecutive seasons led the AFC in receiving, he is notably absent. Hasn't caught a ball today.
On the field, but not a factor. Lorenzo White gets outside the Seattle defenders, and he's stopped by Terry Taylor, but Taylor backing up all the way as White gained momentum around the corner.
Well, the one thing Jeffries, you mentioned earlier, is doing is he's certainly blocking well for Lorenzo White downfield, but that definitely is not his primary consideration. You saw there in the 4 years his average. These numbers are projected, and certainly with an entire half where he did not catch a ball, I doubt very much that he's going to catch 70 balls, but he is the leading receiver for the Houston Oilers, a much coveted free agent in the offseason. In fact, Denver very much wanted Jeffries when they couldn't get Tim Brown, but I guess they settled on Anthony Miller.
And that is now a happy circumstance. It wasn't for a while. Lorenzo White met and dropped by Joe Nash in his 13th year out of Boston College.
Joe Nash, the only player in the National Football League to be able to have said that he played in the throwback jerseys that they had earlier in the season when they had throwback weekend. Joe Nash beats the block of the guard, and along with Bob Spitulski, drops Lorenzo White for a loss.
Nash's game is knowledge now. There was a time when he was as quick at the point of attack as any inside defensive player.
And a great kick blocker.
Tolliver's pass is batted down. And that occasions some discontent from the Oiler faithful. Want to see it again, Todd?
Well, again, one of the issues here is that there's a good play there. Batting the ball down by Sam Adams, their first-round pick out of Texas A&M.
And out of a high school here in Houston.
Interestingly enough, just to show the problem that Tom Flores illustrated with us in the pass rush, Sam Adams, number 98, leading the team in sacks with 3. That number alone should tell you that they're struggling.
Our viewers might have heard my spotter reminding me that Adams went to Cypress Creek High School here in Houston.
How many chances do you have in your life to change the...
Dissing us. We bring you back live to the Astrodome. 1 minute 15 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Houston Oilers in jeopardy of a 10-game losing streak for the first time since 1984. You take a look at the owner of the Oilers, K.S. Bud Adams Jr., owner and chairman of the board, and he turns around now so that you can get a good look at his profile. He and general manager and team president Floyd Reese with much to consider in the offseason. Kenny Davidson makes the stop as Steve Smith has the carry for the Seahawks, and from a narrative standpoint, it is to our disadvantage now that Chris Warren is on the sideline and not on the field. Warren bearing down on a variety of records. 207 yards rushing, team record for the Seahawks held by Kurt Warner. 215 yards rushing by Eric Dickerson 10 years ago, the most ever against the Oilers. Warren well within reach of both of those marks, and we're told that he will be back in the game on the next series for the Seahawks.
And his 183 yards today, Jim, is the most by any back in the AFC thus far this season.
Max Strong. Warren's replacement is met by Tim Roberts after a pickup of about 4. And the third quarter winding to a close. 16-0 Seahawks lead. They got a 40-yard field goal from John Casey in the first quarter. They got a 33-yard touchdown run from Chris Warren in the second quarter. And they got a 14-yard touchdown run from Max Strong in the third quarter. And the PAT after the Strong touchdown was blocked by Ray Childress. Thus, the 16-0 margin that the Seahawks presently enjoy over the Oilers. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. Back live in the Astrodome where the Seahawks lead 16-0. Chris Warren, who has just been examined on the sideline for sore ribs, still sitting this possession out. As Dan McGuire fakes and throws underneath to number 35, Steve Smith. Smith with first down yardage before he's knocked out of bounds by Al Smith. And the Seahawks once again move it into Houston territory.
Well, if it worked once, why not give it another shot? This is the same play they had earlier in the game on 3rd and 1. Play action pass to the halfback and the fullback out in the flat, beating the middle linebacker to the punch. Steve Smith once again with another nice catch, proving that he still has the pass catching skills he had with the Raiders.
Raiders were able to let Smith go when they picked up Tom Rathman. Smith has been at least as effective for Seattle as Rathman has been able to be for Los Angeles. And Chris Warren returns to the field, and this time is met for little or no gain by Henry Ford and Tim Roberts.
Well, I think there was a temptation because of the soreness of Warren's ribs and being up 16 points to say, well, you know, we're going to take him out. But the reality is that whether you like it or not, with 14 minutes left in the game, they are 2 scores away. So the Seahawks and Tom Flores, that man right there, says, let's not take any chances. Let's stay with our big gun.
That was the implication of the blocked PAT that you were referring to. 2 TDs with 2 two-point conversions would tie them. Blades in motion. Fake to Warren. And sacked again is Dan McGuire. Michael Barrow on the blitz this time.
Well, Michael Barrow comes completely untouched. They overmatch the one side, and of course they have a new left tackle. In fact, the 3rd string left tackle now with both Roberts and Keim hurt. Nobody there to get in the way of Barrow, and he absolutely hammers McGuire.
So that makes it 3rd down 19 with the football at the 44. They need to get it to the 37-yard line of the Oilers to pick up the first down.
Look for them to run the ball here.
They do. And Warren has only about a yard. Tim Roberts again with the tackle for the Oilers.
This is a point now where Larry Cannon, the offensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks, can afford the luxury of being conservative. And of course, the way the offensive line of the Seahawks has played, why not?
Ernest Givens deep for Houston at his 10-yard line. Let's check on the total offense for Houston to this point in the game. Oilers coming in here on a 2-game streak of having been under 200 total yards in offense both times. And it's 156 as they go into the fourth quarter. And Tootin's kick is a little short. Givens takes it on the fly and has some running room. Now he's stopped across the 30 at about the 32-yard line. It will be Houston football there when we come back.
Greg Gumbel back in New York with this reminder, a terrific doubleheader next Sunday coming your way. NFL Live at 12:30 Eastern Time. The big 1 o'clock game, New England at Buffalo. The Patriots have won 5 in a row. We won't know the status of Jim Kelly's knee until tomorrow's MRI. The doubleheader game, Cleveland at Pittsburgh. The winner, in all likelihood, wins the AFC Central. Here's the full slate of games. Good stuff coming your way. Let's send you back to Houston.
All right, thanks very much, Greg Gumbel. We bring you back live to the Astrodome, where Terrence Warren of the Seattle Seahawks is being walked off the field by trainers after this knee mishap.
Take a look at the collision right here on the left leg. His own man whacks him right there in the leg. You see him grabbing it. Take a look at from the front side. There's Warren. Ouch.
Cleveland, Pittsburgh next week, Todd. What do you think?
I think they're going to play at 4 o'clock, right?
And probably with 23 commercials. First down 10 for the Houston Oilers, just across the 30 at the 31-yard line. Tolliver throws. It's caught by Pat Carter. Another catch for the infrequently used tight end. Eugene Robinson makes the stop for Seattle. No flags, and we look at the lineup for next Sunday. NFL Live at 12:30. San Diego and the Jets then, followed at 4 o'clock, as you pointed out, Todd, by Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Houston, Kansas City. We'll have the entire playoff scenario to update for you in a matter of moments. After the 8-yard gain on the pass to Carter, it's first down yardage, and Gary Brown makes his return to the Oiler offensive lineup. Bob Spitulski with the stop for the Seahawks. You were wondering where number 33 was. There he is.
Okay, why now? I guess that's the question. Why now? Just jump start, kind of a change of pace, a relief pitcher sort of thing. Interesting.
He sure showed the quickness there that he did last year.
Well, he is a little bit quicker than Lorenzo White, but I think the reason why Lorenzo White got the job back, beside what Jeff Fisher pointed out in terms of his health, is that Gary Brown had some very costly fumbles early in the season.
Fisher de-emphasizes that in conversation about Brown's demotion.
Well, certainly he does that for his ego's sake and for his psyche. You know, there's no doubt that.
No, that's good coaching. You don't want to say that it was for that reason, right?
Absolutely, but anybody who has watched the Oilers for any length of time throughout this season realizes that those mistakes have been costly.
On first down, Tolliver operating from a shotgun formation. And he's going to be dragged down. Michael Sinclair was there.
Tez.
And Tez.
Tez is the one that got there first.
Number 96, Cortez Kennedy, 1992 National Football League Defensive Player of the Year.
Take a look at 96 right over Bruce Matthews. Bruce Matthews is a great center, but that's asking an awful lot to take on Cortez Kennedy man for man. 2 all-pro players at their best, and Kennedy wins.
Pushing to the outside, swimming to the inside, and ultimately getting there. Second down after the loss of 4, 14 yards to go. Another quick start for the Seahawks, and Tolliver in trouble. Gets rid of it. The number 85, Carter, and Carter is across the 40 down to the 37-yard line. Eugene Robinson made the stop. Big play by Billy Joe Tolliver.
Well, Billy Joe Tolliver, I don't know if this is a Doug Henning or a Houdini thing, but I don't know how he is not sacked here. Take a look at the blitz. Wooden comes completely untouched, sidesteps, ducks under, reaches out again, and normally Billy Joe Tolliver is not somebody you would think of with Steve Young or Randall Cunningham in the same breath, but he does a great job of getting the ball to Pat Carter and getting a first down inside the 40.
At the 37. Oilers with time if they were able to score a touchdown on this drive to get enthusiastic and tell themselves they're not out of the football game.
And Eugene Robinson is down. It looked like he might have turned his ankle there on the turf.
Well, this team cannot afford any more losses in the secondary.
Well, especially not Eugene Robinson, because he is definitely the leader back there.
We'll be back.
Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered. By Braun Oral-B Plaque Remover, clinically proven to significantly reduce the risk of gum disease. By American Honda, who has been making quality automobiles in America for the past 12 years. And by Coors Light, naturally brewed. Reach for the silver bullet, the pure taste of the Rockies.
An aerial look at Houston. Eugene Robinson, 10th year veteran out of Colgate, more interceptions since the beginning of 1990 than any other player in the league. 29 of them, including 9 a year ago in 1993, and he becomes the latest member of the Seahawks secondary, apparently lost to injury. And this, as you pointed out, Todd, is a critical loss for the Hawks.
Well, they led the NFL in interceptions last year with 9. The Colgate grad is the captain of the defense and somebody who coordinates a lot of things back there in the secondary. This could be an opportunity for Billy Joe Tolliver to take advantage.
Dave McClellan, number 44, is the man who normally would replace Robinson at free safety. We'll look for him. And so the Seahawks simply crank up the pass rush as Tolliver drops back. Stevens and Wooden coming together on the blitz.
Well, Terry Wooden is somebody who really has not been given his due this year. Number 90, Wooden, is going to come from the outside right here. Norgard comes out, but a little bit too late. And of course, Wood and Billy Joe Tolliver steps back into him, as well as Rod Stevens coming from the middle. The linebacker blitz very effective for the Seahawks.
And Sam Adams, the third man in, saying, let me have a piece of this stat. So it's now 3rd down 18. Football to 45. And Tolliver goes down again in the grasp of Cortez Kennedy. Well, it's been a tough year statistically for Kennedy. Double teamed on virtually every play, but he's finding some openings today.
Well, what's happening is they're single covering. Look at that. That's exactly what the Tez wants. Twice now we've seen John Flannery have single coverage, and he goes in with the sack. Cortez Kennedy having an outstanding day for the very reason that we pointed out. They opted not to double cover him, and they're paying the price.
So now it's 4th down 26, and Camarillo comes on to boot it away again. Kelvin Martin makes the fair catch at the 9-yard line. Seahawks ward off a mild scoring threat.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Call now and order Domino's new Buffalo Wings, and we'll deliver them with your favorite pizza. When it's gotta be good, it's gotta be Domino's.
Houston Oiler fans passing the time with 9 minutes 15 seconds to go in the 4th quarter of what appears to be a potential 10th consecutive Oiler loss. And one of the key figures for the Seahawks today, the defensive ringleader, Cortez Kennedy. On 1st down from the 9-yard line after an excellent punt by Camarillo. Max Strong with the football, and Strong running just as effectively as Chris Warren did through much of the day, spelling Warren at tailback. Is Tez as good as he was in 92, Todd?
Well, a lot of people have been mentioning the fact that there in 92 he had the big sack numbers 14, last year 6.5, and of course he has 2 added on to that today. I think a lot of people questioned his heart when he signed the big money as to whether or not he was mailing it in after that, because he now had the big dollars. But a lot of the frustration was over the fact that the man just could not seem to shake all the double and triple teams that he had. I tell you what, if other teams blocked him the way the Houston Oilers are blocking him today, I guarantee he would have the numbers he had in 92.
Yeah, he'd be among the league leaders in sacks if lots of teams handled him with one guy. On 1st down, Dan McGuire's pass to number 84, Kelvin Martin, is incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10, but McGuire and company protecting a 16-0 lead, and Chris Warren effectively took the pressure off of McGuire in only his 3rd start at quarterback today.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And interestingly enough, I guess that they are going to opt to rest his bruised ribs, because we haven't seen Warren since he got over the 180-yard mark some 7-8 minutes ago.
So in all likelihood, no 200-yard day, no new team single-game rushing record, no new Oiler opponent rushing record. Ah, Tracy. And McGuire will say, ah, Tracy.
And a lot of room to run, too. They opt to go with the blitz, and watch as Johnson's going to come right at you. Just a simple flat wrap. There's nobody there. Nobody out there, and it goes right through his arms. And he's frustrated, not just from dropping the ball, but that would have been a big play for the Seahawks.
Announced attendance here in the Astrodome, 31,452. And they are pretty widely distributed through the Astrodome seating sections. 3rd down 10 for the Seahawks. And the pass this time is complete to Tracy Johnson. Johnson fighting to reach the yard marker. Gets there to give the Seahawks another 1st down. Darrell Lewis and Michael Barrow there on the stop for the Oilers.
Well, this is a fatigued defense. You know, you come up 3rd and long like that and you throw the dump-off pass. Where are the people coming in from the secondary to make the tackle after a 5- and 6-yard gain? They weren't there at all.
It saddens me to tell you, Todd, that Eugene Robinson, the veteran safety of the Seahawks, team spokesman, excellent guy, has a ruptured Achilles tendon.
That's tough.
Career-threatening injury at this stage for the 10-year veteran from Colgate. On 1st down for the Hawks, it's Max Strong again with the football, and Strong doing his best impression of Chris Warren in the Seahawk offense. Has a couple before Henry Ford and Eddie Robinson make the stop for the Oilers.
Well, on the positive side, let's think in terms of Dan Marino and his teammate Rufus Porter. Both of those people came back from ruptured Achilles tendons, so we certainly wish the best for Eugene Robinson, an outstanding player and a terrific person in the community as well, Jim.
Yeah, he really is. He's one of the truly solid citizens among the players we meet in the AFC or in the league in general. Clock running, 7:15 to go. 2nd down 7 for the Seahawks with the ball at the 35. Oilers blitzing. Max Strong making it past the blitz for a gain of about 4. Marcus Robertson and Joe Bowden making the stop for the Oilers.
Joe Bowden, outside backer for the Houston Oilers, is somebody who is in hot competition with Michael Barrow in the preseason for the job that they gave to Barrow. Bowden really asserting himself on special teams and now getting a chance to play some defense and doing fairly well.
On 3rd and short, McGuire's pass is overthrown. Intended for number 35, Steve Smith. So that will bring up 4th down and a punting situation for the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, that flat route has been fairly successful for the Seahawks, and he had him open, but as you say, threw it over his head, and now the Houston Oilers once again will see if they can get something going.
So it'll be Rick Tootin to boot it away once again for the Seahawks. Ernest Givens waits at about his 15-yard line. This punt is short. And it'll take an Oiler bounce back toward the 30, and the Oilers will have fairly decent field position at their own 30, trailing 16-0 when we come back. Back live in the Astrodome, Seahawks looking for a potential 6th victory of the season. Houston hoping to avoid a 10th consecutive loss. Jim Lampley with Todd Christensen. Todd, the playoff picture, which we're going to try to explain in part in just a moment, is enormously confusing to fans. To what degree do players occupy themselves with all of the various possibilities at this time of the season?
I don't think they do at all. I think that the old cliche applies about they focus one at a time because there are just too many. It's just a myriad of variables at this point, and they can't afford the luxury to think about things that are beyond their control.
On 1st down for the Oilers, Billy Joe Tolliver looks over the middle and throws a little behind Webster Slaughter. It'll be 2nd down 10 for the so far still sputtering Houston Oiler offense. And let's take a look at the playoff picture to this moment. Pittsburgh and Cleveland have both clinched playoff berths as they continue to battle for the championship in the AFC Central Division. AFC playoff scramble. These are the teams remaining in contention for playoff spots with records of 7-7 or better to this point. And as you can see, there's a mind-numbing length to that list. On second down, the pass to Gary Brown is incomplete. Todd?
Significance here is that San Diego is in the process of losing to San Francisco, and that certainly is going to tighten up the AFC West. But of course, the big game coming up clearly is going to be Cleveland and Pittsburgh, which could decide not only the Central Division of the AFC, but home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
Miami looking ahead to its Monday night encounter against Kansas City.
Still 50-50 as to whether or not Joe Montana is going to play.
Chiefs need the game at least as much as the Dolphins do. NFC picture in a moment. Flags flying. Oliver throws. In and out of the hands of Orlando Waters, intended for Haywood Jeffries, still without a catch today. Referee Gordon McCarter.
Offside, 97 defense. 5 yards, still third down.
Rufus Porter, number 97, is the one who jumps off there. Interesting if they'd have him on this side. He usually rushes from the weak side. But that's one of the problems. We mentioned the ruptured Achilles tendon that he came back from, and that now Eugene Robinson is faced with. The one issue there is the quickness. It's coming back with the quickness and flexibility. That's the most difficult thing where an Achilles tendon is concerned.
Third down 5 for Tolliver and the Oilers. This time it is complete, and Haywood Jeffries finally has a catch, and the Oilers have a first down. Jeffries working against the rookie Orlando Waters.
Well, it's surprising that they haven't gone to him sooner because, as we mentioned at the top of the show, the difficulties in the defensive backfield for the Seahawks, particularly at corner. Tolliver has not done the job picking on them.
Oh, boy.
That's what they call, that's what's referred to as a jailbreak. When the offensive line just flat out breaks down, this is a jailbreak. Take a look at all the white shirts. Pickham, who ends up getting the sack, just absolutely engulf Billy Joe Tolliver.
I think we'll share that sack between Michael McCrary and Sam Adams. And the rookie out of Texas A&M is beginning to pay dividends for the Seahawks. Tolliver looking all the way downfield to Ernest Gibbons, wide open, and Gibbons couldn't hold on. Flag is down.
Tolliver get clobbered from the back.
So it'll be roughing the passer and a Houston first down, but Tolliver's probably thinking, I should have had 6.
Now as he moves up in the pocket.
Roughing the passer, 96 defense. 15 first down.
That just goes to show how strong Cortez Kennedy is, and I'm sure that Tolliver would question that. That was just a little bit of a shove. Watch as he moves up in the pocket, and take a look how badly Cortez probably could have hit him if he'd have liked. But because of the extra roll by Tolliver, he gets the 15-yard penalty. But of more significance, I'm sure he wishes he had that ball back. A couple inches shorter, and Gibbons might have had a touchdown.
That wasn't a terribly rough roughing, but the Oilers have been a little short of breaks today, so probably no one on Seattle would begrudge them that small measure of mercy from the officials. First down 10 from the 45. Free ball falls to the turf. And a penalty flag deep in the Seahawks secondary.
Now, of course, the argument here is if the ball's tipped as to whether or not that negates the penalty.
Holding, number 21 defense, 5 yards, automatic first down.
That call against Raphael Robinson.
Well, in that case, as opposed to interference, that's the way it is. So Robinson, the guilty culprit, affords the Oilers an automatic first at the 40. Tom Flory's looking at the clock, 5:03 remaining, wondering as to whether or not the possibilities of Houston getting in. And again, the excitement of the two-point conversion, Jim. They still have a shot.
Number 84 is Webster Slaughter. Slaughter short of first down yardage. Tony Brown on the coverage. It's going to be 3rd down and 6.
Well, Seattle will give up those throws all day. Even if they continue to get first down, the clock continues to run, and now down to 4:40. The clock is 76.
This time, the Seahawks were there to cover Givens. Pump fake did nothing.
Dave McCloughan did an outstanding job there in center field, replacing Eugene Robinson. He's the one that comes back. Take a look in center field. Even though Givens is going to give the double out like this, McCloughan is not fooled. He knows that the ball has to go up top, and he knows they're down 16. Givens gives the little in move, then comes back, but nobody is fooled at all, and McCloughan heading over just misses the interception. Those of you that are long-time NFL fans would know that Dave McCloughan is the son of Kent McCloughan, former cornerback for the Oakland Raiders.
Bump and run. Houston on 3rd down, 2 of 10. Kennedy chasing Tolliver again. This time he gets away and delivers for the touchdown. Webster Slaughter. No flags. He beat Blackman and Brown to the corner.
Once again, Tolliver does a great job of escaping the rush. Now as he escapes and gets to the right, he throws completely across his body back to the left. That's about 50-55 yards in the air to Slaughter going the other direction. Tremendous play by Tolliver.
Webster Slaughter kept the route alive. Tolliver ultimately found him and converted for the TD. Now do they go for 2? Yes, they do. Tolliver stays on the field, and the Oilers will try to narrow it to 16-8. Waters, and they slice the lead in half.
Now, an unexpected moment from the world of sport.
Big issue here is going to be whether or not Chris Warren comes back in at 16-0. You're saying, hey, let's rest him, no big deal. But he's the one that they haven't stopped. Now we have a ball game, 4:23, down by a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. I doubt, Jim, whether or not that the Oilers are going to do an onside kick, and that's big right there. Ray Childress, 10-year veteran, while a lot of people around him were mailing it in, busts through with a blocked extra point, which now looms very large.
This back in the 3rd quarter. He'll come back to haunt the Seahawks yet. This is number 84 of the Hawks, Kelvin Martin, who takes the kickoff in the absence of Terrence Warren, hurt a couple of series ago, and Martin gets it back across the 25-yard line. There's a dog on the field, but there's no Chris Warren on the field for right now. Yep, there he is. Love you, blue.
Remember years ago it was Mojo that went out and got the tee, and now the dog does it. Oh, now he's got it.
That is Blue, the tee fetching dog. Easier gig this year with the 1-inch tee.
I'm still very surprised here with regards to Warren. We knew that he had some bruised ribs, but evidently at this point they've decided to stay with Strong and see what he can do. Seems pretty funny to him.
Yeah, he looks like he feels pretty safe with this 16-8 lead. So Warren stays on the sideline, and the Seahawks attack the problem of running some clock with Max Strong on the field in place of Chris Warren at tailback. Strong is dragged down behind the line of scrimmage by the ultimate professional in Oiler blue, Ray Childress.
And you can see he's fired up. He's screaming there at Kenny Davidson. He knows that this is a point where the Oilers really have a shot at this. Pitch out. Take a look at the quickness. He beats the rookie Kevin Mawai. Once again, dragging Strong down. You hit it on the head when you said consummate professional. There's a guy who, as we mentioned earlier, could have mailed it in with everybody else when the team's 1-12, down 16-0. Who cares? But he busts through, blocks the extra point to put the Oilers in a position now where they've got a shot.
2nd down 11 after the 1-yard loss for Strong on 1st down. This time it's number 68, Tim Roberts, who has made some big plays in the second half for Houston. He's coming up big, Todd.
There's a lot of new bodies out there on the field, and Roberts is one of them. This is really going to be a crucial call here with regards to Larry Kennan.
And Houston uses a timeout to stop the clock with 3 minutes 20 seconds remaining. And we'll take advantage of this quick timeout to get a look at the NFC playoff picture. Division leaders San Francisco, Dallas, and Minnesota. Two of them having clinched division titles.
San Francisco on their way at 31-9 over the San Diego Chargers, of being 12-2, and that loss by Dallas to Cleveland yesterday looms big, because basically then Dallas has to win 2 games, go up 1 game on San Francisco, because San Francisco had defeated them. San Francisco in the driver's seat for home field advantage.
And didn't Minnesota clinch a playoff berth with their win over Buffalo today?
It's going to be interesting, though, as to whether or not they're going to be able to clinch the division title down the stretch. They've got 2 very difficult games against San Francisco, as one of the teams I know they have to play.
Green Bay stayed alive, pounding Chicago today, so the Bears dropped to 8-6. The Packers rise to 7-7. The Giants got a critical win today. The Eagles lost to Pittsburgh. Atlanta and Arizona yet to play. And it is now 3rd down 8.
Now, how much does he trust the young quarterback?
He's going to let him throw with the ball at the 27. And he gets it to Tracy Johnson, but Johnson is a check it.
That's Carlister Crumpler, the tight end.
Yeah, he's short of the first down.
Big tackle there. Absolutely
Smith.
Huge tackle by Al Smith, because as soon as he caught the ball at the 34-yard line, and for all intents and purposes, it looked like all he had to do was fall down, get across the 35, and it's first down Seahawks. Instead, Al Smith shows the power and strength of dropping him there at the 34. Watch in the middle of the field. Watch the middle of the field, Al Smith, the middle linebacker, and watch the play that he's going to make on the tight end after the catch. Here's number 54. He's not even in, and then he comes back. Now watch, he should fall forward, but instead, look at what Smith does. Has him around the legs, drops him short of the first down. Huge play by Al Smith, as you mentioned earlier, Jim. The lone member of the defense that certainly should be considered for Pro Bowl.
So the 10-year veteran Childress and the 8-year veteran Smith keep the Oilers alive in their bid to avoid their first 10-game losing streak in a decade.
Well, the man's, take a look. He goes off here. He's in coverage on Paul Green. He actually comes off of Paul Green to make the play on Crumpler, who right there didn't exactly exert major effort, but give Al Smith credit for dropping him in his tracks, forcing the punt.
That was just a terrific tackle. Square up, so Tootin will kick it away. Givens comes to his 22. And it's Givens trying to get to the far side. Trey Junkin is the last man with a chance, and he'll have no chance.
But there's a
flag down.
A fight at the 22. A fight at the 22. And I wonder what's going to happen as to whether or not that call is going to be called back. What's the situation there? That's the big issue. Ernest Givens, worst punting return team in the National Football League. But Givens comes up with a big play. Now the big issue is, what about the flag? Personal foul, what direction? Seahawks or Oilers?
79-yard punt return touchdown. Make it 78 officially for Givens. And he ran past the pack of players who were fighting each other. There was a Seahawk jersey there, and a player might have had a shot at a tackle were he not occupied fighting against Oilers.
Well, evidently the Gordon McCarter put it back in his pocket, so it must have been against the Seattle Seahawks. What's amazing about this, as I mentioned, Jim, is the fact that 4.4 yards per return. The Oilers, absolute worst in the National Football League in terms of kick returns, and one they have to have at most. Givens, huge play.
And you could see, Todd, that if he could make it to the left side behind the wall, it was set up. So that narrows it to 16-14, and now the two-point try to potentially tie the game.
Now another issue here. This could come back to haunt them because he's using up the timeout. Certainly they want to have the play for the two-point conversion, but there's still 2:53 remaining in the game. Plenty of time, Jim. Take a look, as you mentioned, he gets to the wall. The Houston Oilers, great job of blocking. Once he gets past Tootin, that's it. Nice block by Darrell Lewis. He just pummels the punter. Raphael Robinson in pursuit, can't do it. Trey Junk in the center certainly isn't going to get him. And the somersault by Givens. Check it out. That man has really struggled this year, but he gets a chance for his dance and his electric slide, which is oh so sweet. Don't forget, that's a man that has performed with MC Hammer in concert. He knows what it is to have a little funk.
You saw Del Greco on the sideline in front of Givens. There'll be no PAT kick, as the two-point conversion opportunity gives the Oilers a chance to tie the game. They trailed 16-0 entering the fourth period. Out of bounds. Robert Blackman with the big stop for the Seahawks on Todd McNair.
And just as we gave credit to Al Smith for a big hit, great play by Blackman. I'm not sure that McNair was aware of where he was on the field. There's a classic case of, hey, you've got to know where you are on the field. You've got to get it into the end zone. McNair on the flat route, look where he is. He's too short. He knows there that he's got to be in the end zone to make it happen, but give Blackman credit. Blackman puts him down. Tolliver goes to him, wants to know if he gets it in. He knows right there. No, it's short. Now, big decision. Big decision with regards to Jeff Fisher as he sees him miss the two-point conversion. Does he trust his defense as he did last series, minus the timeouts, to kick off deep, or does he take a chance here for the onside kick?
They've used all three timeouts. A field goal could still win the game for Houston. Last Houston punt return for a touchdown, incidentally, Todd, was 17 years ago by his white shoesness, Billy Johnson.
And now, interestingly enough, you have to question Tom Flores and the staff of the Seattle Seahawks. Did we take Chris Warren out too soon? Because you have to figure that they're in the fourth quarter, when they had their drives that were stymied, that man clearly could have had some extra yardage. Forget the yardage. He would have kept the Oilers off the field, and more than likely they would not have had their two touchdowns.
Jeff Fisher, having made his decision, we'll wait to see what it is. Del Greco is teeing the football flat. And
with 9 people on the other side, it would seem to me that because of the loss of timeouts, that's exactly what they're going to do. Now, the idea there, as you can see how it's set up, is to get that big second bounce. Take a look at the bouncing ball in terms of Del Greco and whether or not the Oilers are offside.
Here comes the cartwheel kick. There's the bounce. There's the Oiler jersey. Houston football. Number 25, Bubba McDowell. Perfect job by Del Greco, and with a little luck for good measure.
Well, everybody who's ever watched onside kicks knows exactly that's what it is that they're trying to do. They're trying to get the second bounce. And of course, when you are on the hands team, the kick return team for the Seattle Seahawks, you know it too. You know exactly what's coming, but there it was. Take a look at the second bounce and how it jumps over all the white shirts. Bang! Look at that. Nobody can get it. Absolutely perfect. Right to Bubba McDowell. And I can tell you this, the kickers throughout the National Football League practice that ad nauseum. Don't be surprised how perfect that was, because they go over that time and time again.
And Bubba McDowell still in pain from the big hit he took in the back after grabbing the football, but there's a smile through the pain as the Oilers have their chance. Now, first down from the 47-yard line for Tolliver in the blue. White, gain of about 5.
That's an excellent call by Dick Corey. 240 and running. Everybody's anticipating right here, hey, they've got to throw the ball. They don't have to throw the ball. They've got a situation where they're going to get the 2-minute warning to stop it. All they have to do is get in field goal range at this point, approximately 18, 19 yards away.
Cortez Kennedy made the stop for Seattle. Now Tolliver on second down the middle. Givens. What's the ruling? Incomplete. Terry Taylor on the coverage for Seattle.
That's costly. That's big. That's 15 yards there, Jim, as opposed to 10.
Personal foul, illegal chop block, number 55 offense. 15 yards, repeat, second down.
John Flannery, fourth-year offensive guard out of Syracuse, has had some tough moments today trying to go head up against Cortez Kennedy.
Here's John Flannery right here. Take a look. Cortez Kennedy now comes up. Now what is it he does? Right there, that actually should have been holding. What it is that's incidental contact that Kennedy has with the other. That sort of thing it should be called when it's prearranged in the running back. Either way, it was a penalty, but I don't think it should have been a chop block.
Oliver gets away, but not the second time. Sam Adams with another sack for the Seahawks.
Well, this is the reason that they spent the money for that first-round pick, Sam Adams. They had anticipated that this was the man that was going to take the pressure off of Cortez Kennedy. They have him lined up over Bruce Matthews. Swim move. He's the one that finally relentlessly is going to come across and get a piece of Tolliver. And now the optimism that was so rampant throughout the stadium is somewhat non-existent now at the 2-minute warning.
And 3rd and 33 for Houston. Michael Barrow and company waiting through the 2-minute warning at the Astrodome. A reminder that following the game on most of these stations, it's an all-new Earth 2 followed by an all-new Sequest. Then Chevy Chase stars and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Viewers on the West Coast will see these shows at their regularly scheduled times. That's NBC tonight. Here's 3rd down 33 for the Oilers. Batted down by number 31, Orlando Waters, as Jeffries broke past him. And if Waters doesn't get a hand on the football, Jeffries could have had a snake.
We're seeing a lot of these now, basically, because of the pass interference situation, because of the no-touch rule and the bump rule. Basically, just have your guy run downfield, throw it up, and see what you can do. And of course, I would anticipate they do that again, simply because Jeffries is their tallest receiver.
A snake, incidentally, for the uninitiated, is one of those plays when you slide past someone on the sidelines, almost as though in the darkness. They're not entirely certain you're there. It's 4th down, 33 yards to go, as the Oilers have their last chance to stay alive. And this time, Waters has a pick.
And he wants to take that, even though batting it down would have made more sense. They go clear back to the original line of scrimmage. But if you're a defensive back, it's tough to leave that alone. You want an interception badly, and give a lot of credit there to the Seattle defense, faced with a situation where clearly the momentum was on the side of the Houston Oilers at midfield. All they had to do is get in field goal range. But a big sack, big penalty, forces the desperation throw by Billy Joe Tolliver, picked off by Waters. Now with no timeouts, the Oilers cannot stop the clock.
And the crowd quiets with 1:46 to go, so it appears that Jeff Fisher will suffer through a 4th consecutive weekend without winning a game as Oiler head coach. They have the Chiefs next week, and they have a chance, an all too good chance, of finishing as the 5th team since the merger to go through an entire season with only 1 win. The employee owners of Avis salute the game's most valuable player. Chris Warren is the winner of today's We Try Harder award. Avis, the official rental company of the NFL. Warren, the official story of this game, with his nearly 190 yards rushing, almost all of it in the first 3 quarters of the football game. And now he's back on the field to help protect Dan McGuire, as McGuire takes a knee and runs the clock.
One of the motivations for the Seattle Seahawks, Jim, is that even though obviously they're not going to be, well, mathematically they may still be alive, but more than likely not going to get into the playoffs, they want to improve over the last couple of seasons. Everybody's aware of their dismal 2-14 in 1992. Last year, 6-10 with Rick Meyer. If they could get to 7-9 or even possibly 8-8, they can at least feel like that they're heading in the right direction, despite the numerous injuries that they've had.
McGuire again takes a knee, and that'll do it. The Seattle Seahawks will now rise to 6-8. And the Houston Oilers, with a 10th consecutive loss, the 4th in a row under new coach Jeff Fisher, dropped to 1 win, 13 losses. The nightmare continues in Houston, and Tom Flores has a victory to take back on the plane to Seattle. We'll bring it back to the Astrodome for a final word from here right after these messages. Back in the Astrodome, where once again our final score was the Seattle Seahawks 16, Houston Oilers 14. Stay with us next on NBC for all new episodes of Earth 2 and Sequest, followed by National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Viewers on the West Coast will see those programs at their regularly scheduled times. Now for Todd Christensen, I'm Jim Lampley saying so long from Houston. This has been a presentation of NBC Sports in our 30th year of covering the National Football League.